stacked doubleheader weekend in ALGS and it absolutely delivered. Team Flat showed strong consistency, finishing top 5 in 4 separate matches. They may not have secured a match win, but their consistency earned them enough points to claim first. Day 2, however, belonged to JDG. Their back-to-back victories and a huge kill count saw them dominate the lobby and comfortably take the top spot for the day. With just one match day remaining, they'll have their eyes set on first place overall. Over in APAC North, match day 7 was all about reject. The fan favorites exploded onto the leaderboard with 38 kills in back-to-back wins, locking in a huge first place finish and strengthening their position near the top of the standings. But on match day 8, Zeta Division simply refused to slow down. They picked up their 3rd straight match day win. You heard that right, 3rd in a row. Their level of dominance has been unreal. Now the big question is, can anyone stop them? Over in Apex South, Team Orchid secured their 2nd match day win of the split. Opening the set with 3 consecutive 2nd place finishes, they narrowly edged out the competition by just 3 points to take the overall victory. Meanwhile, Wolves Esports continued to look dominant on the 2nd match day. The Chinese squad are gunning for the top spot overall, and this latest win keeps them within striking distance. With 1 match day left, they'll look to continue this momentum for regional finals. And finally, in EMEA, ForFun Esports delivered a strong performance. A 1st place finish, 2 2nd places, and then 34 kills overall secured them a commanding victory on match day 7. If they can maintain this form heading into finals, they'll be a serious threat. But match day 8 belonged to Mega. Since adding world champion Zidane, this squad has looked like a completely different beast. They took the top spot after 2 wins and 25 kills from those victories alone. Will it be enough though to book their ticket to the Split 1 playoffs? With just 1 match day left before regional finals, here are the current overall standings. Check out algs.ea.com if you want to see more. And just like that, you're all caught up.
In this game, victory is a choice. You lose, you rebuild, you evolve, or you're left in the dust. No, we are not done yet. This is where we earn our scars.
I bloody love this egg.
Every loss takes a piece of you. Until only the strongest parts remain. Keep moving.
Hello, my little Apexes. It's Lace once again, here to bring you the top 5 community plays of the week. And I reckon we get straight into it with number 5. As we welcome back a familiar face to our community place, Brandon has the ring closing in. The entire map looks like a volcano exploded inside of a microwave. Shots fired immediately. That aim is cleaner than my search history after tax season. Look at this positioning, and by positioning I mean sprinting directly into danger like a raccoon chasing a Dorito. Confidence levels are skyrocketing right now. The battlefield looks like a Transformers movie directed by someone who hates eyesight. Circle is microscopic now. There are wraith portals, jump pads, 36 explosions, and approximately 0 safe decision remaining. What we have just witnessed is equal parts skill, luck, violence, and untreated adrenaline addiction. As Brandon celebrates the win, let's dance our way into number 4. Straight into the action here with Aku. Rooftop fights already popping off, and absolutely nobody involved has health insurance. Look at this aim, though. Smooth tracking, controlled recoil, enemy shields evaporating faster than my paycheck after a Steam sale. Teammates moving in, chaos is everywhere, and our player is picking angles like he personally pays rent in this POI. Audio completely useless like every Apex match ever created, though. Look at this confidence, sliding into it a drive-by like Lightning McQueen as we ka-chow our way into number 3. We've got Diamond Lobbies, RP on the line, and Dayton, our player, already moving like he owes money to 3 different squads. Arcstick to the face. Imagine opening a door and regretting everything. R99 out, bullets flying, and oh my god, that tracking is insane. That team got melted faster than an ice cream in Australia. But hold up, another team is pulling up too, because apparently every Apex player with a 5-kilometer radius smelled violence. His enemies are trying to coordinate, but our guy is moving around them like a caffeinated mosquito. Yep, probably shouldn't have pushed that one, my guy, but it looks like Octane thinks it's his time to shine. But no, when Dayton has you in his sights, 1v5, no problem. Let's take a look at number 2. Look, we've all been in this situation before where your teammates have folded over like a wet piece of paper. However, Freezone knows exactly how to play this. Wraith Portal where the enemies will fall into the lava pit below. And I guess this squad ain't ever played the floor is lava, as Freezone easily knocks these 2 thirsty players. Phasing to check the surroundings, and you can feel something else is about to happen as the final member of the enemy team also wants to return to the lobby. Amazing work there, Freezone, and this brings us to our final and number 1 community play of the week. And it's none other than Sang on the bullet baddie ballistic with a swift drive-by knock and a Q to finish it off. There is no stopping him. You better not dare blink watching this, as you'll miss the flick Kraber shot. I mean, Sang already has 10 kills. What's a few more? The kill feed right now looking like a grocery receipt. I feel personally offended that Sang chased that poor Maggie, but Sang is hungry for that RP. Final clean up now as this ulta has nowhere to go but back to the lobby. And that was your top 5 community Apex plays of the week. My name is Lace. You can follow me at Lacey Somerville on all socials. And I'm just so excited to see what you guys come up with next time.
They're ready for more, let's settle it. Look at the life that we relish, I'm telling it. I'm the star of the show and the regiment. Can't stop me, bro, ain't no pedaling. Ain't no riding the wave, staring right in your face. You know where I'm getting it. This ain't back in the days. Get ready for more and more, ain't no meddling, no. Gotta know what my head is for sure. I had a show when I was young, I had my back on the ropes. Looking like I never had her on roll. In school of hard knocks, I get hard drops. Got drive even when the car stops. I don't ask it if they let me, ain't no get ready. When you stay ready, let's go.
Man, hearing some Lace always puts me in a good mood to kick off the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Apex Legends Global Series. Today is match day 9 of Split 1, which of course means it's the last day for our teams to try and qualify through to our regional finals. My name is Glitter Explosion. I will be your host for today, and we've got Tiff and Jamerson to walk you through all of the action. Tiff, I don't know how we got here already, but we're here.
I don't know how we get anywhere at this point, let me just tell you. But yeah, you're right. The final regular season match day is upon us. And I'm so scared for the teams that are potentially facing relegation and have to run back the gauntlet of Pro League qualifiers.
That's
like,
right.
What?
Yeah, Jamerson's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a blink and you kind of miss it moment here, right? This split went by so fast, and we got regional finals right around the corner, and then land right after that. It's all moving too fast. Just slow it down. We need to like take in the good times, guys.
Right?
I feel like you're talking about a child. No, you can't grow.
Literally, that's what it is. And as we're talking about today being the last regular season day, that also means that, of course, both of our APAC regions completed their match day 9 just a few hours ago. So we're going to take a look at what that meant, which teams advanced their way through to regional finals, and who made top 8 for both APAC North and APAC South. So Tiff, I mean, Zeta at the very top with 125 points. No surprise that they made their way through.
I'm I'm not shocked, but I'm excited to see what UKF does under Zeta, right? That team throughout the entire split so far, prepping for regional finals, had 232 kills. I'm talking north of 50 kills over any other team. That's just insane to me. And could this potentially be a win at LAN for Yuka? He tried to get it on Fnatic, but maybe Zeta is the way.
Yeah, big surprise with Fnatic. Fnatic didn't make it. Neither did Riddle Orders. We take a look at Apex South, and Wolves are the team at the tippy top, also with an amazing score, Jamerson.
Yeah, Wolves just doing a fantastic job, but also have to shout out S8UL. They've had an amazing season, all fraught, of course, but still performing extremely well at the top. And of course, no surprises there. VKG rounding it out in the top 4. They had really no pressure throughout this split, but they, I think, really did take the time to learn from this split, because this is VKG, a team that shows up at LAN, ends up typically around the 4th place spot as well, if not getting the win. So we'll see if they can turn things around and then ultimately get the win once we get to EWC.
Yeah, and of course, those teams at the top will be looking for EWC. And now we're going to be focusing on today. Groups B and C will be competing, which of course means Group A will be waiting in the wings, waiting to see if they get leapfrogged by any of these squads, Tiff.
Not them preying on people's downfall. No, but you have to if you're Group A, right? You're like, what's going to happen? I know when we had B versus C last time, it was Aurora at the top, Mega in second, and Alliance in third. Could we see a repeat of that? I'd imagine those teams want to run it back.
They absolutely will. And of course, if you're looking at this, the top 8 teams in EMEA will be the ones advancing to EWC, but we're also looking at top 20 right now because we're trying to see who makes their way through to regional finals. And of course, the teams that might be relegated as well. So we have a lot for us to focus on today when we're talking about the teams on all of these various types of bubbles, Jamerson.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line, of course, trying to avoid relegation. But right now, I think everyone's eyes are set on making sure that they make it to regional finals. And then once we get to regional finals, it's anything goes, because we do have the accelerated points, right? The bonus points that can shake up that leaderboard immensely. So there's still a lot to play for every single team.
100%. If we're talking about these bubble teams, let's start taking a look at the ones that it really could mean the most for. These 6 teams fighting for those last 5 spots. And I do want to point out, if you just saw on the Pro League standings, there are quite a few ties. Well, the tiebreaker is going to be total match score, which means it'll be added up by all of their individual match day scores if we do end up with some sort of a tie situation. But when we take a look at these 6 teams, I mean, lots to talk about here. Specifically, I'm going to start with ECLIPSE, because you've got Uchako and you've got Kashera on there. I mean, this is a huge surprise for me that they are even in a bubble team situation. We've got lane champs in here, so this is something that's kind of surprising. But let's start looking at some of these other squads as well, Tiff, because there's lots of teams that are going to be battling today.
Yeah, there truly is. And I mean, look, Mamma Mia, the Vicious, Jamerson, I cast last week, and the Vicious was running into a gauntlet over on Storm Point, just constantly running into Alliance at the start. It's going to make things difficult for this one.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about it this time around, but yeah, right now, Mamma Mia versus the Vicious. This is going to be an interesting one. I believe they're not drafted around each other on Storm Point, but when we do get on over to Olympus, that's where they might go to head-to-head. We'll see if that happens.
And now, as we can take a look at some of these scores as well, too, there's other squads that we need to be paying attention to, Tiff, because like we mentioned, there's 6 teams. Yeah. One of those other teams is Pixel Lumina. It's going to be tough.
It is. I mean, look, they're currently 23rd overall. We're 5 to 6 points outside of that top 20, so we're going to need a really strong performance. When you look at their last performance in B versus C, they got a top 5 overall, right? Match day number 6, day number 8, 10th, and we have a day number 3 and 9th. So we've got a couple of times where we've had pop-off performances, but that 20th and 19th place finish on the day is just not something we can currently afford. So keep your eyes on Trix, Catch, and Billy and see if they're going to be able to throw down another top 5 finish here today. And even then, I'm not sure if it'll be enough. And with heavy hitters in the lobby like Aurora, like Alliance, things are definitely going to get shaken up.
100%, 100%. Now, we got to do a little bit of a thing here when we're talking about these bubble teams. We got to try and give our predictions for which teams we thought were going to be making their way through to regional finals and which teams were not. So we're going to start with Jamerson here. I want to see what your predictions were for this situation.
Yeah, so this is an interesting situation because in EMEA, I think all of our bubble teams have the capacity to move on, but I'm going with ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO to completely lock it in. I think particularly because of their Olympus draft, they're going to have Grow Towers, and we know how strong of a drop that can be. That will allow them to just finish off this split strong. But the big issue I have is going to be Pixel Lumina coming into this one, right? Because like you had mentioned, Tef, right? They had two really bad days, the 20th and 19th. But fortunately for them, those were that was in the other group. In this matchup in particular, right? In B versus C, that's where they have had better days. But for them, their best performance so far has been putting on 14 points in this group. And that's kind of what they need just to catch up to Stay Healthy, who is still playing here. It should be enough to make help them outpace Zipline Mafia and Orglis and Hungry, but you just have so many other teams ahead of you on the bubble that are still competing today, where the numbers, I'm a numbers guy, right? It doesn't just quite work out for them.
The numbers, what do they mean?
All right. I like this. I'm actually surprised by your clip shout, Jamerson, but I do like it. Tiff, I want to see what your predictions were now.
Oh God.
What do we
barely decide where I want to eat, so let me just tell you. Do I have to tell you? Because I picked those very late in the evening. I was tired. Nah, I put the Vicious in. I'm not gonna lie, I really did.
Okay.
I know they didn't have a good performance last week in match day number 8. I think it's gonna be on the back, like I said, because they kept running into Alliance up there. Don't chow North Pad. Don't chow Alliance and North Pad. People have learned year after year. It's just something you really don't do, right? But they did lock in Lightning Rod for Storm Point, and I'm feeling a little more optimistic about that. I know they're on the bubble. They're currently tied with Mamma Mia, so maybe I'm freaking crazy, but yeah, put me in, coach. I think they can do it. Chaotic, get in there. Get in and get some crazy fights. That's all I want to see. For out, I've got 3 men. I'm not gonna lie. I looked at the leaderboard. You were sitting in 19th place. I don't do numbers, but I feel like 19th place is an absolute curse because there are so many teams that are going to do anything and everything they can to get in the top 20, and who's going to fall out? It's probably them.
Okay. I feel like I obviously I didn't know your predictions, but mine kind of works with yours. Yeah. When we take a look at mine, because you said the Vicious was in, I said Mamma Mia was in.
What? I mean, okay, look, like, can you hit me with the Mamma Mia? Like, can you give me that real quick?
Hear me out, okay?
Full circle.
Because
there it is.
Mamma Mia got the only win the last time all of these teams face off in these groups out of all of our bubble teams, and Mamma Mia has managed to get at least 1 win in 3 out of their 5 match days so far, which means they do it again. They're already over that 50% threshold. I've just seen some really good consistent showings out of Mamma Mia, and I feel like they can do enough to at least keep themselves in that top 20 to get to regional finals. I think also slightly controversial, I said Colonel Node was out on the flip side of things. And I know that they're starting off at a higher spot than Mamma Mia. However, last time B and C faced off, they really struggled. And I feel like they had a strong start to the split and then have just perpetually slowed down from there. So unless they have some massive turnaround today, I'm actually a little bit concerned about what Colonel Node will bring to the table. I see wheels turning. We're gonna have to talk about this when we get through the games and stuff like that. But there's a lot of storylines we're going to be focusing on here today. Obviously, we're also watching our teams that are potentially going to be relegated, because the big thing is teams are fighting to stay alive so they can compete in Split 2. And the reason they want to stay alive and compete in Split 2 is because we are going to an epic spot for Split 2, okay? For everybody in chat, if you don't know, we are going to Las Vegas for our Split 2 playoffs, and tickets are going to go live on June 6th at 10 a.m. PT. So if you're considering coming to Split 2 playoffs, make sure that you are on top of that. You have to mark your calendars so you can pick up those tickets. However, there's also going to be an opportunity to win some ALGS tickets. So make sure you check our socials and web for all of the latest details on how you can get these tickets, because we are sending you and your squad tickets-wise to our ALGS LAN. Now, it's not going to cover travel and hospitality, but it will cover tickets for you and your squad. So that is 3 event tickets, and you need to get yourself entered. All you have to do is enter your EA email, and you'll be entered for your chance to win. And we also have one more special thing for today. I don't know if you guys saw this on social media. Should be following us. But if you did, we've dropped a riddle, okay? Chat, let us know if you're able to figure this riddle out. Tiff and Jamerson don't even know what the answer to this riddle is, but this riddle will tie in to a big announcement that we're doing towards the end of our America show later on in the day. And if you want to find out what the answers, you're going to hang with us till then. But for now, give us your best guesses. Try and solve this riddle. In the meantime, we'll keep reminding you guys of this riddle and see if you're able to figure it out. For now, I'm going to see if Tiff and Jamerson are able to figure it out as we dive into match number 1. It's time to get the day underway.
Look, I'm ready to get into it, Jamerson. It's about
it's
time, right?
By the way, the answer is time, right? Like for that riddle.
Is it?
Like, I don't know.
Oh, I was like, it's time to get into it.
Time
You're like,
is like
it's
the
time.
answer for like 50% of riddles. It's like time or silence or man.
Or like
right?
newspaper.
Yeah, for like every like
Newspaper?
Sphinx riddle you hear, like half the time it's one of those 3 answers.
I don't know, but I pondered over that riddle for like 30 minutes of my life that I'm never getting back, and I hate being wrong. And I know for a fact that when I was like, I have played Apex Legends since 2019, and you're telling me I can't figure out what this riddle is? Yeah.
Well, the issue for me when it comes to like riddles like that is just I think too grandiose, right? So I'm thinking like, oh, we're gonna have IRL Apex Legends, like we're gonna actually do the thing. We're gonna have a full stadium.
Where's Mr.
We're
Beast
gonna
when you
give
need him?
people drop ships and drop them down. Like I'm way overthinking this, I think.
You know what? That's a good content idea. I'd like to see Jumbo potentially do it, or Jayhawk. You never know. They can draft teams. It'll be a good time. But speaking of draft, guys, you're getting the pip right there. We're starting things off on Olympus for our first 3 matches of today. We kind of talked a lot about potential storm point zones and where you were going to see some of our bubble teams go. But for Olympus coming back, this is going to be really interesting. And honestly, Jamerson, I haven't cast Olympus competitively in a minute. So keep your eyes on the Rift. That's where Alliance is going to be. Aurora locks in center map. They've got Hammond Labs. They won B versus C last time. However, Alliance was looking pretty strong in some recent scrims for this group.
Yeah, this is an interesting map to go to, especially with the Axel changes and the Trident changes. Well, not the changes of the Trident, but the removal of the Tridents, right? It felt like the Axel came in at the right time. Our teams needed the movement, needed a legend that helped them get around the map. While there's a lot of mobility here on Olympus, the Trident was definitely a feature, not as quite of as big of a factor when it comes to something like Storm Point, but Axel, we should see a bigger adoption of it from EMEA. We didn't quite see that like at the beginning when she first released, but we are seeing more and more of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's good shouts. I'm kind of looking around to see what potential like compositions we're getting. Well, guys, first and foremost, Crypto's out of here. Crypto's got 20 picks. Yeah. That's nothing new. We've been expecting that. And of course, one of our bubble teams down here, Hydroponics, one of my favorite places to start anytime on Olympus. This is like where I drop consistently.
Yeah, Crypto has been that high priority ban for quite some time in map number 1, and I think that has a pretty like big effect across all of our regions, especially for teams that were looking for the early team fights, but also just some of the easier rotates right now. Taking a look at our first ring, we are going to be pulling up towards that northwest side of the map. It looks like Oasis is going to be the easy call here. I don't think we're gonna have some of the crazy pullbacks that we've had. I mean, there's like a 5% chance that it goes to the States, but I don't think so at all. I think everyone does need to kind of bank on it being on Oasis here. And of course, having that Axel, having Ultra still available as well, there's a lot of movement for teams to get out. We do have also Potassium, I believe, picking up that Valkyrie. So they'll have opportunities if it does a weird pullback like we have seen across the past few weeks. But I think everyone is safe and secure and thinking this is Oasis. There's going to be a lot of levels to play off of course, but getting into that main building, into the main hotel is going to be important.
Yeah, 100% not wrong. And this is going to be a really fun end game because it is so open between those areas. We saw Pixel Lumina moving into Oasis really quick. ECLIPSE decided to go ahead and take the portal and just go through on the south side of things. Aurora is moving in, but Mega and NEEVEPRO are going to be some of the teams that are starting in this vicinity, staying nearby. So I'd imagine the conflict that we're going to see from them is already going to happen. Pixel Lumina and Aurora diving straight into things, and this is vital for Pixel. Reminder, guys, bubble team. So to knock Effect first, this is a wild one.
Yeah, Effect going down first is not what you want to see when it comes to the Aurora fight. We know that Aurora have been definitely benefited from Effect getting added on. I don't think Rampart is particularly the legend you want him on. Here for map number 1, Hyarka will end up going down. It's all up to Oire, and it's Aurora to go out first.
Dude, you have a rogue member of VP with a longbow chilling, assisting Pixel Lumina there in that fight. What do you mean? Okay, so now they're going to be able to live in this vicinity in which Aurora was trying to lay stakes to. Now, oftentimes we do see a circle that pops back to the backside there, so I think that's a really solid spot to get into, but a lot of teams still hitting the rotation. You talked about Potassium, who has the Valk. Well, they're on the other side of DSK currently.
Yeah, they are just getting kind of gate-kept here over at Carrier, but they're under no pressure. They are on the slower side of the zone, and they can slowly walk their way over towards Oasis right now. They don't have to full commit to this, but with Axel in play, they do have that option to just get on top of them. They don't quite have the team fight, though, with that Caustic. We're not seeing Caustic having as much of a big impact in a lot of these fights, but for DSK, they're a little bit slow on the go, weren't able to make it over to Oasis in time, and that's really unfortunate because they are one of the few teams that are running that Caustic.
Yeah, there's 9 total caustics in our lobby, which I think could be really nice for some of these building end games, but when you've got to lock down areas like Hammond Labs or certain end games like that, it'll be difficult. But speaking of, let's go ahead. ForFun Esports on the screen and a door. Next thing I know, I'm thinking about Lace, and she's like, some doors are not meant to be opened, and Henchman falls. ForFun Esports out. And now, let's pick up the homie and get on moving.
Yeah, I think right now what we're seeing is a lot of our teams are just getting caught on timing. I mean, Aurora, you saw they rushed their way over towards Oasis in that first fight. They were coming in with white armors. The pace of the game, especially in round number 1, has it picked up so immensely. Alliance here on Blues currently in a fight. Don't know who's on the other side of this one. Aku gets tagged. More nades come in, and it's going to be Aku getting the first knock on to NOVO. We'll see if Alliance can follow this one up, but I think for now they know they can take this one slower. They've got the man advantage. NOVO is, of course, crawling right there by Aku, and it's his go button. Whenever he wants to go in with the Nitro Gates, he can go ahead and send it, but the rest of the squad will go ahead and get out, and so NOVO will be the only person to go down here while Alliance takes control.
Yeah, it's going to force HM out into like more of a negative rotate. Looks like they're going to be heading to Solar Array to potentially get NOVO back up, since they are basically body camping them, and Alliance can take a nice rotate straight through Hammond Labs. They can either wrap over towards Estates, or we can go forward into Turbine. We'll check in with that later. The Vicious tied for 20th with Mamma Mia. We talked about it at the top of the show. Not a strong showing in match day number 8, but here's the deal. That's behind us. We focus forward, and this is a strong way to begin. They're walking in on the northern side of things, and so far no resistance.
All right, Ben, one of the teams that are right down there at relegation stage. They need a big day today just to stay alive. A win for Ben is what we're really looking for. As we have that kickstart come out, I think it got clear on the other side, but Ben are slowly trying to choke off this team. The caustic gas comes down. You can see them kept inside of the building for now, but Ben having to take the time. They've taken about 50% HP from just the ring damage alone, as it's a slow burn here to choke them out. And it's the gas that caustic just really not providing much in this fight other than deterrence at this point, and it honestly might be enough. You can see how low that all of them are dropping just from ring damage, Tiff.
Yeah, this is going to be really tough when you've got to fight forward him, and the caustic just kind of anchoring down in the building. Check out Arctic, though. We're taking angles from the back, and they keep the resistance straight forward. Ben actually is deciding to disengage from afar, maybe reapproach, maybe look for a nice med kit to get fully back up into it. But we're out of lethal, so there's only so much you can do to try to put that pressure on them. That's what giving a caustic has for you, right? You can just anchor down inside of buildings, make that resistance so much more difficult. So here we go, and we're focusing on just getting through Face Driver.
NOVO Esports just completely turtle up with that caustic and say, no, you're not coming in. And Ben are forced to swerve on away. Luckily for them, of course, they do have all the options. They've got the altar, they've got the Axel, so it'll be a quick rotate out for them along with NOVO Esports. No surprises here we saw on the ring. It is going up towards Oasis, but it's the Vicious right now in a fight, as it looks like they're trying to hunt them down, kind of on the outside. MG Clutch going after them. Vicious, another squad that needs a huge standout day, and a kill like that up against Elite EU will set them up for success.
You're right. Elite EU, ForFun Esports, and Aurora, the first teams out of match number 1. So if you're on the bubble and we've already got a couple KP, this is the way to do it. So the Vicious, instead of pushing straight into the Potassium team on carrier, we're actually disengaging and kind of wrapping through Fight Night. We can get information. There's a ring console there. You get all of the things that you need for endgame, which is going to be vital because we saw how many like popbacks on zones we had just last week. It made things difficult for our teams to call it, but 3 men getting into the push. You've got the Crypto EMP coming through, but I love this. Babylon's walks straight on out, takes the angle, and keeps that going. They do get a knock and a full onto 1 member. So now 3v2.
Well, they got to be careful. I think they just got calls that a third party is coming in, and it is going to be Ben who were able to work their way on over here. We have a pretty big pileup on this south side of the map right now. Ben taking out Havoc Legends, bringing us down to 16 squads here, round number 2. We're talking about the accelerated pace of the game. I mean, it's almost looking like it's scrims here with 16 squads alive and round number 2 closing.
Yeah, so like usually this happens at like, you know, our games 5 and 6, the pace of play just like rampens up exceptionally. But I guess because it's match day number 9, it's the last day before regional finals, and everyone's like, you know what, I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, so I'm getting wild. And
so match day 9 is just perpetual game 6 is what you're saying.
It's just inting, and I'm okay with infest, right? You know I love chaos as much as I love an underdog story. So if you're on the line, Ben, like you are, we're 24th place overall on that standings, and you don't want to face relegation, man. We do this kind of stuff all day, except you got like 5 teams in the vicinity, and this is not a fun area to push through at all. We talked about Oasis endgames being incredibly open. This is why. Once you come out of this, look at what you must traverse to get over to Oasis. You're not taking that zip. There's no way that's happening because you're dead in 5 seconds.
Yeah, basically lock themselves into one way to get in. That's kind of a big point of contention when it comes to Olympus, that there are these major choke points, right? Because you can fall off the map and you have to worry about those spots that the altar can't help you out, right? It's different from like where E-District. Sure, there are a lot of choke points on E-District, but you also have walls that are merely suggestions when altar is in play. Here's Ben though, making their way on in. They've got 3 men above them right now. The crypto drone does catch them all, but it's going to be Babylon's to get that first knock onto Hikaru. Kickstart comes out, but it's going to get instantly cleared. Never mind, Babylon's doesn't finish it off, and Slab takes him out like a pinata, but it's still a 1v2 here. He's going to get out of dodge with that Nitro Gate and look to try and reset on this one. Ultimately, it is 3 men that might fall here. Stay Healthy are looking for that third party, and Stay Healthy is a squad that's on the bubble, but they are comfortably on the bubble here. Just a few points. Finishing off in the top 15 should be more than enough for them to move on to regional finals, and a slow patient play like that will definitely benefit them.
You know, I love this, right? Because Stay Healthy moves in and they immediately take the portal up and finish off 3 men. Now, you do have ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO that is going to dive right back in, so Stay Healthy is getting third party yet. So invest the portal, get back to high ground, and see where you can. I believe there's a player, your entire team is up here, but I think if ECLIPSE wants to push here, you're going to have to make a good play. But they don't really have to push this. They can gatekeep them on the rotation. And my only thing is, did Ben get the death box recovery?
Looks like they moved up for it as Mamma Mia and Alliance off stream end up going down here. And it's the fight that never ends. ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO now moving in, getting 1 knock onto Maxim. We'll see if they can get a little bit more here. But it's ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO. They do have that kind of outer side. They do have 1 squad above them right now, looking to drop down. Uchako tries to hold out, but it looks like they'll move forward. Nitro Gate just to keep pace. They've got plenty of momentum to move forward now. Uchako with the air burst nade. We'll see if it connects with this one, but looks like for the time being, Uchako answers just in time to deal with that kickstart. And now ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO are able to easily make it into the next zone.
Look, Potassium falls, so another team has left our lobby down to the final 12, and the way that they just attacked this is great. They push Stay Healthy straight into HM. Ben and NOVO Esports, they have fallen. Will HM join them, or will they stand tall against Stay Healthy?
Wow.
Portal to the wall, and they're guarding both sides. This is a great way to move through this.
All right, it looks like HM will hold it down. 10 squads, by the way, Tiff. 10 squads, round number 4. It is looking like it's going to be perpetual game number 6 here on our final match day for EMEA. Colonel Node looking to make that actually 8. As that kickstart gets cleared by Orbit. Now let's go ahead and listen in with Colonel Node as they take this fight up against Awakened.
Just chill,
It's like, there's full team bot, like, left side right now.
Yeah, full team bottom still. They're gonna fight, they're gonna fight. Let them fight, let them fight.
Chill.
We grab left, come.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Come left, right.
I gotta tell you quick, are you? Chill. Coming with you now.
Come back or something, these
Lucky I'm getting man.
Take it for it. We need to kill these guys. We need to
Got
get
me
the
loot,
kills,
bro.
bro. We are going to try and fight
I
this.
got my kill.
Okay. I'm playing up. There should be on left side. No?
One team next, one team inside, and then we play, kill this team inside, and then we play walking, okay?
They're
gonna move your reds, they're grab banner right now. We just hold these guys out and then play walking, okay? We're gonna play into the BC. I'm checking what's in, okay? Can you just hold that? Yeah, I'm checking what's in, bro.
No.
They are raising, no, they're not.
Yes.
We just gotta walk in, get these kills, and then then we can see what we can do, okay? I'm gonna EP for you.
One shot on low, got you.
You ready?
Yeah.
EP back. Oh my god,
On me.
Low.
I killed him.
Help me. I'm dead probably. Alter in zone.
I don't want.
Get these kills, get all the kills, get.
I'll kill.
Get my back.
Last guy, one thing.
Last guy ready, baby. Walk in, right, walking left.
Top 6 right now.
Walking far left, like, oh, yeah, I mean,
Done.
I think you're fine.
We have lost so many teams there, and Colonel Node not able to hang on. This is what happens, though. The Vicious survives the Battle of the Bubble and now sets their sights onto Oasis. Virtus Pro will be one of the teams waiting for them there. Pixel Lumina inside the next circle, and HM on your screen holds the south side.
Yeah, it was just a game of patience between those three squads, but it was the Vicious basically pulling off now as they walk in. VP laying in waits will clear them out. 12 points now for VP. They'll be able to retake height here, and we're down to 4 squads, Tiff. I mean, this is the crazy part is that this is Oasis. There's plenty of like early buildings to play. We should have been able to have, 15 squads still kind of alive here, maybe still battling things out, but we're down to 4.
But Oasis is pure hell, and this is living up to it. Yes, you could play down below, you could play up above, you could play the back building, you could play the main buildings and share them, but it doesn't happen. These teams want every KP that they can get, and now Eclipse is just running around, poking at everything, and VP is just chilling with these long-range, mid-range weapons and picking people up, longbows, G7 scouts, whatever it is. They are reaping the lobby. They started in the States, it's a quick rotation, and they've just felt the fruition of every engagement.
All right, Eclipse, NEEVEPRO, I think left with just one person here in the middle. But for HM, they have excellent position here to play off of Petty. VP, though, have the opportunity to try and gain a lot of map control, and they are slowly starting to wrestle that ground away from HM on the northern side. HM have, again, plenty of coverage to walk in with this, plenty of map. And it's Pixel Lumina who are actually playing this one the slowest overall on the south side. They're really utilizing the crypto right now. And because all of our teams do have that crypto available, except for Eclipse NEEVEPRO right now, who I believe the crypto did get finished off.
No, not
It is going to be a slower ending here at the end.
Yeah, it might. We could see some pace of play. It's all about waiting for those cooldowns and managing them, but Prestige does go ahead and grab a full onto that. So it's not going to be like a final 3v3 for 3 for every single person. So keeping their space up here on this side of the map is going to be great. You need to find the rest of NEEVEPRO. You've got Pixel Lumina that keeps trying to push into you. And mind you, Pixel Lumina is 23rd overall on the leaderboard. So making it into the top 5 every single time they can is perfect. HM, they're going to feel a little more safe. And they've got at least 3 or 4 kills thus far in match number 1. Still, no ults on check. Curious if we have the kickstart available to open up a fight.
Yeah, kickstarts and EMPs. There should be time if you got at least one accelerant. There we go. Getting tossed down. The big thing for VP is that they will have the caustic available for themselves. And the only other team that does have that is Eclipse NEEVEPRO, who are currently just that solo, that one caustic. So it could throw a wrench into things here for VP, but they have the utility to win this one out handily. They just don't have the space right now, as because of the presence of Pixel Lumina, they are kind of forced to play over here to make sure that they don't get walked up on. The altar really does change things. At any point, you can get flanked easily by a Q, and I think that is the big thing. Pixel Lumina is down there in the lower floor, ready to queue on up at any point, and so HM are able to utilize that to gain map control right now here for the final circle.
Yeah, they've got the entire western side. They're able to play back on that kind of hedge line. We do find the last remaining player there from ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO, so it's down to the final 3, and they are all full teams. Immediately, though, Zod gets his shields ripped off him, has to focus on getting that back up. Kickstart is available, but we're just gonna hold angles here because we don't need to do anything. The remaining 2 teams are going to be on opposite sides of them.
Yeah, again, that constant threat for VP, having to deal with Pixel Lumina right underneath them. And I think HM are also aware of that as well, but it's just VP waiting to see when this queue up comes. Here's the first EMP, Pixel Lumina drops on in, but it's VP easily clearing them up. Taskmaster needs that armor swap for himself, and HM now come in for that third party, and it was just unfortunate. HM bide their time, will finish them off and get the first win of the day.
That's insane. That's absolutely, like, the fact that they immediately just get up there, get eviscerated by VP, and HM knows exactly what they need to do. You're waiting for the other 2 teams to engage, and you swarm in. That's the clean way to play this. So Zod, Fuda, and NOVO. It may have been a little bit of a stressful start, considering we did see them get into some early game fights, have NOVO go down. We have to prioritize getting him back, and that is tough. But they do it, they hold on, they get the placement points, and a stellar win.
Yeah, fantastic finish there. Again, really unfortunate for VP, who are doing a great job throughout this entire match, right? They were picking up kills throughout every single phase, the early, mid, and even there in the late game, getting that last team wipe ultimately. But having a team right underneath you when Alter is still in play, and she will still be in play in the next match as well here. So that's going to be an interesting thing as we move on with this series.
Yeah, the way we were looking at it, I was like, wait, please tell me that they just kidnapped that team underneath them. I don't think that was it, but that was crazy for them to just all be like, we have to go up, right? We only have so many different options. So let's see what Virtus Pro was able to do in second place. They got 12 kills. That's still a massive game at 21 points, 18 points for HM. But of our heavy hitters that we were talking about, specifically Mamma Mia tied for 20th place, right? They got 3 points. Alliance went down early. We saw Aurora absolutely get fried trying to move into Oasis early. That's how we're starting our day, Jamerson. We're in for a treat.
Yeah, again, I mean, Aurora don't need to do much to be at the top of the leaderboard here, right?
Yes.
Because they started themselves off extremely well. They have like an 8-point lead over VP right now, but with VP getting this second place finish along with the 12 kill points, it looks like first place might be in contention here at the end of the split.
Ooh.
I like that. I mean, I talk about, like you just mentioned, Tiff, kind of like a crazy way to start the day off. We are looking at the second page of our standings.
Yes.
And we have the big story then that we've been threading throughout the entire split. Both of our teams are on there. Aurora down there in the very last place with an unfortunate start to match number 1. And then Alliance down there as well. And I kind of want to talk about this a little bit because this is a rivalry, Jamerson, that we have been talking about all split long, heading into the split, throughout the split, seeing what the roster change was going to do for both of these teams. And you had said in the very first match day with me and Tiff that with the roster change, in your opinion, make Alliance a little bit now more even kind of with everybody, not necessarily weaker, just no longer the same juggernauts that they were prior to this split. And I feel like now we're seeing that play out just a little bit. Not that they're bad by any means, but they're definitely not at the tippy top anymore.
It was definitely for me that they needed a lot more time with Aku, right? I mean, when you look at what Unlucky and Effect were able to do, I say that because a lot of the times they were able to just take so many 2v3s that resulted in them basically winning half the match days throughout Split 1 and Split 2 of last year, by the way. They were winning half their match days and they're doing them in fantastic fashion. This time around, unless Alliance gets a win today, they'll only end up this split with only 1 match win, so it's not quite there yet. Effect moving forward with Aurora, we're seeing that they are now the beneficiaries of that kind of consistency with him. And you know, I think it's still going to be time. It's still going to take time. Aqua and Unlucky should be able to build up that synergy. We'll see if they can do it before the rank changes come in, because that's my big question, is like how much more practice can Aqua and Unlucky get in before the rank changes come out? Because I know that they've been grinding together, and really it's that synergy between these two players that is going to be super important. When we saw Unlucky and Effect fighting, again, They were the 2v3 gods. It seemed like every time we went over to their feeds, the fight was already over because you'd have a crazy air burst nade from Unlucky. Effect is able to just walk every other team down. And we don't see that confidence quite yet, but it is building. We are seeing Aku and Unlucky starting to play bigger together, but we'll see. They have another split after this one. I think for the kind of high heights that we have for Alliance, we will see that eventually come to play. I think it's gonna be closer towards the end of split 2. The bigger issue is that we have a lot of changes this map around, right? Storm Point was a huge sticking point for Alliance. They performed extremely well in split 1 and split 2 of last year. They're not having the same kind of performance on it. With the Trident changes, with the contests that are happening for them up top, it's been making it a little bit difficult for themselves now. I think today, when we do go over towards Storm Point, even though we do have the Trident removed, we still have Axel here that'll allow them to move around the map extremely well. But they'll be able to play at more of their own pace, where they're able to hit every cheese, get every scan, get themselves up to purples, and easily make it into a lot of these final end zones. So I think Alliance will start coming into form once we get over towards Storm Point.
Heck yeah. What we just saw there, guys, by the way, was match day in 8 last week. It was their first game on Storm Point, and they were taking a fight.
Yeah.
And what you're missing in a lot of that is the comms that we hear during the listen and when we're watching Alliance. They're taking that fight. They wipe Heaven or Icon. But immediately, you talk about timing, Jamerson. They're not expecting Pixel Lumina to be rotating in right there. And while they need to be fighting to get into Cito, they get absolutely slammed from the side just based off that right fight that they had just taken. So really tough for them, but I think it's a timing thing. And we were running Conduit based on the contest they had from the Vicious off the start of things. So will Storm Point look better for them here today when they don't have that going on and you have the Vicious going Lightning Rod? God, I hope so, because we need some points. And you know, I was going to make a nice reference at the start of it when you were talking about Aku and losing Effect. But guys, I'm a F1 noob. You guys know what Mercedes did, right? They got Kimi Antonelli and they made an investment in that little nugget. And you know what he's doing right now? You know what he's doing right now? He's winning. He's crushing it. So will Aku do the same thing for Alliance? Maybe. I hope so. I hope he has the Mercedes effect.
Either way, both of these teams are still finding themselves in a fantastic spot when it comes to our overall. We'll just have to see what they're able to do today to really solidify that, especially looking towards regional finals and EWC after that. But for now, we're going to get back into the action. Match number 2 is ready. Crypto is banned. Let's see how match number 2 goes.
See ya, Crypto. See ya, Crypto. The thing is, what's going to be next? Now, we do see, I didn't actually get to see what happened to Alliance on their fall here in match number 1 for Olympus. They did fall, what was it, like mid-pack? Not too good for them on that rotation, so I'd love to look into that later. But for now, when you think about it, look, you've got a solid start. You're going Rift. So rotating over towards Oasis, you've got a couple of different options, but getting caught out is going to be tough. Do we go back west, Jamerson? Hopefully not for the majority of our teams that had really not good performances.
Yeah, that was an interesting zone to say the least, particularly because of how Oasis can play out. I think with the third-party timing when it comes to Axel being involved in a lot of these compositions, really did throw a spanner in the works for a lot of our squads. They're still getting used to these third-party timings. Again, an Axel squad can be on your head in a blink of a second, right? It's just right there. They'll be right on top of you. So you have to be careful in how you take these fights. You got to make sure you start it off in a 2v3. You get the first knock and then you can go for it. Despite otherwise, trying to take your time and get the positioning and slowly surrounding its squad doesn't quite work out as much anymore. You need that just that death blow at the beginning of a fight. Otherwise, you kind of need to call it and just get out of there. And I feel like a lot of the teams in the chokes going into Oasis just got caught up on timings on that.
Yeah, and it's going to keep happening, but it's a good thing that we keep on learning to see what is going to happen ahead of EWC that is on the mix, but you've got to get there. And for HM, that was a really great performance to kind of lend into keeping themselves inside the top 20. It's only going to take a couple of maps to really secure your slot up there. And I think with the start that we've had for them, this could potentially be enough if they can run another game just like it.
Yeah, 18 points for HM. Very nice start of the day at the very least for themselves right now. Looking at where this is going, this is actually going to be a pretty easy rotate for HM, but we're seeing some early movement out from a lot of other squads. So it looks like HM aren't in too much of a hurry actually for this zone, despite it pulling down towards the southeast side. You can see, yeah, it's going over towards Summers here. So they're going to allow a lot of other teams to actually get ahead of them in terms of rotations. You can see Alliance utilizing the Rift portals to get closer in as well, and that's going to situate them right behind Aurora. But you can see now the time is coming out for a lot of our other squads. ECLIPSE, NEEVEPRO also playing this one a little bit slow, coming out from Grow Towers here, might get cut off by Stay Healthy as everyone's trying to get into the center zone.
And it's all about the teams that are potentially facing relegation or looking to get into the regional finals that are already down near Summers, right? Because when you have Grow Towers, that's such a powerful position. You can just loot up insanely quick and drop down. Alliance immediately pop into the Rift and start coming out through on the other side. That's going to be an early rotation for them. My only thing is, what does their resources look like that they were able to acquire? Because they are prioritizing getting the heck into that next circle quickly. And we saw what happened to Aurora when they tried it in match number 1. So hopefully they have better luck this time.
Yeah, and for Alliance here, they're not running the same kind of movement legends that or rotational legends. Well, they're sticking with that Wraith with the Rampart. I'm still not entirely too sure what the Rampart is supposed to do here for them as a controller legend. Watson is still available, and she has been, you know, the large go-to for a lot of our squads, but looks like it's just walls on walls utilizing Newcastle.
Yeah.
For the Vicious, it's all movement. It's all go for them with the Valk and the Axle and the Altars. So we'll see if that's going to be enough to catch up to DSK, who decide over here at Fight Night, no, we're not going to take this fight.
Well, I mean, they got Chaotic on their squad, and they're just going to be living up to that name. They love to fight, and I think that they're going to focus on just being hyper aggro on the teams that are locking down behind those Newcastle walls. Now, mind you, the Watson pick was 9 in the lobby, 10 for Newcastle, so Newcastle banned out of this, which is one game closer than we saw in scrims. For 3 men on the bubble and trying to fight like it. Mastiff in hand, and we've just got to deal 5 more damage straight to the face. 1 more player down is all we have to find, and we've got our eyes set on them. Havoc Legends, see ya.
So 3 men, this will be pretty nice for them because they're coming in from Phase Driver from the south side of the map, right? So they can move their way over towards Icarus. They've got all the scans to utilize as well. Unfortunately for them, they don't have well, you're not really gonna need a map scan for this walk-in playing the baby comp, because it is very easily going over towards Summers, but they'll have the man scan at the very least. And so it'll be a pretty easy walk-in for them. ForFun Esports, though, right now, holding it down in the middle of Summers right now, up against Ben. Maxim will not be able to get away. That's Ben getting eliminated. And unfortunately for Team, on the cusp of relegation here, even though it's early on, you don't want a game like this where you don't put up any points at all.
Yeah, it's still not an incredibly strong start for them by any means, but last time they were in B versus C, they finished 12th on the day, and you can't afford a performance like that. We need like a top 5 for them. But for the Vicious, who are focusing on just getting a lot of those fights, you're finding yourself with the back on the ring, Potassium on the other side. You can see K-Swinny making a play right there, and Chaotic is hunting him down, swings around, lights it up, but we just need to put the finishing touches. We're dancing around Arc Stars, which is why the Nitro Gates are going to be so important for them to be able to kind of slip and fly around this. Now, do we chase the remaining members of Potassium? Because it seems like the Vicious are still incredibly hungry.
I mean, that's all this composition is built to do, right? To chase them down. And so there was really never getting away from this squad. Being able to Valk ult onto them, and of course the Nitro Gates, and having the Alter Qs, you were really never going to get away from them, just because the cooldowns itself did not work out in your favor whatsoever. For 3 men making their next move on over, they'll run into Colonel Node as they make their way into Phase Driver for now, but it looks like they're going to avoid this fight largely. I mean, you already got some points, now you just need to make sure you convert this game into a decent one with some placement points. So I like this one, playing this one a lot more conservative. They really didn't have any idea of where Colonel Node were playing, and so backing away was probably the right option. And taking a bigger look at grand scheme of things, they had teams coming in from behind them as well, so really good move for 3 men.
Yeah, and I love that we're actually taking the elongated rotation instead of like fighting through that little choke point, which can easily be gate kept on the other side. We know Mega got in, Pixel Lumina's in, Colonel Node's in, so they will join them relatively shortly. On the other side of things, you have HM, who's still so deep out into the rift and even split off from their other player. So potentially got chased out here. We'll have to see, because we know the Vicious was around this area as well. So hit the Valcolt, get out of here.
I
also get information.
Wondering if they were actually going to just take the port, just take the rift, get into the center of the map, and then walk in. But yeah, they decide to go ahead and hit that evac instead, and they do scan onto someone in the skies just ahead of them. So now the Vicious, or HM, will allow them to move ahead of them and get cut off. You can see, yep, no surprises here whatsoever. No weird pullbacks. It is going straight on top of Summers. Interesting move here by Alliance as they decide to go over towards Solar Array, and with that Rampart, they'll be able to hit that map scan. So they'll know exactly where it's going. They're not going to get extra info though, because we know that it is going to be landing on top of that, on the main buildings over there at Summers University, and that means they end up losing out on tempo. So they have to fight for ability. They have to walk in with a lot more teams at their back now. Luckily for them, though, they do have, of course, the double wall composition with the Rampart, with the Newcastle. They'll be able to keep their back safe with that coverage, but a lot of teams are starting to pile up here, coming in from the northwest side of the map. We got Pixel Lumina, 3-man, Colonel Node, Make EU Great Again, Vicious, DSK. A lot of teams are actually slow rotating over to this side, and I don't know if they were able to, for Alliance, yeah, they don't have access to recon scan, so they don't know how many teams are coming in from behind them.
Oh boy, this is going to be really interesting. So Colonel Node's on like a hyper aggro comp, and they've got Mega, who literally just rotated deeper in to take a high ground for them, and they're going to run straight into them. But Kiner falls first. Zedon in the sky, being clipped. His wings are gone, and Mega's out. Now Mega got second place overall on B versus C last match day. They were when it was B versus C, but they had Nasky at that point. They bring in Zedon. We broke it all down in the match day number 8, and it was a crazy performance out of them. They're looking really solid together, right? It's a reunite. But when I see moments like this and I'm like, that's a slight misplay, all you have to do is correct that for next game, but I'm still expecting like a top 3 performance on the day out of y'all.
Yeah, the extra utility there for Colonel Node, having that extra aggression with the Maggie helps out a lot. So much zone coverage for Pixel Lumina as they're walking in. I think they just ran into the Vicious on the other side of this one. So far for Pixel Lumina, one of the squads that we mentioned, of course, that are on the bubble, mathematically, they have an opportunity to make it to regional finals. It's just the fact that they have so many other squads in this lobby, in particular, that are currently ahead of them, that are also on the bubble. And, you know, it doesn't seem like a lot. They are currently down about like 4 points from the Vicious, who are ahead of them. But that 4 points is a pretty massive gap at the end of the day.
Well, Vicious got to look on extending that as well. And match number 1 necessarily didn't net them a ton of points, but we're still alive, still in it, trying to get over towards Summers. For Pixel Lumina, we're going to be rotating in kind of similarly. So good time on pulling up the map. You can see the Vicious just ahead of Pixel Lumina, more towards the north. Colonel Node down there in Solar are going to want to get active, especially after wiping Mega. But when you think about all the teams that have already set up shop and claimed their position in Summers, all the teams rotating out into the open that have to walk it in just based on abilities and such are going to have such a difficult time.
Yeah, it's gonna look like what's the starting thing on a race? I feel so bad because like I'm like the only one on this cast that doesn't know. You and Glitter were like talking about F1. I'm just like, yeah, cars. Cool.
Cars go fast.
The starting line.
I know the movie Cars. Lightning McQueen, right? Nah, I'm just kidding.
No, it's gonna look like the starting line, right? Because we have all these axles. They're ready to go, vroom vroom, go fast, super fast. Ka-chow. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. I love it. But for Pixel Lumina, we were chatting about them. They were running into Colonel Node here. Now, Colonel Node, the way that they are running, they've got Mad Maggie, but Pixel Lumina also has an aggro comp, minus the fact they have the Watson, which is needed, right? Instead, we're nitrogating back. We're rotating around. We are disengaging. We are calling it off because the thought of us falling in 16th place, and not getting a ton of points isn't worth it. So I love that. Colonel Node looking pretty scary this match, right? And they should be able to kind of walk in through the choke point just behind them. They'll play off the backs, but everything will be open. And when we pulled up the circle, it does pull outside of Summers just a little bit. So a couple of teams will already set themselves up for success. Alliances rotate will be interesting. And oh my God, they're reading my freaking mind. Hack is on the Wraith, tries to port and set up shop there, gets immediately fried, has to come back and heal, has infinite ammo, which is going to be really nice for this end game, but it's Mamma Mia and Elite EU on the other side of this portal.
It did look like he was able to make it to a wall, so once he heals up, they might be able to take it back. Oh, we got the Cat's Cradle right on top of it. Elite threw down some nodes on top of it as HM end up going down. So our winners for match number 1 are now out. Elite holding in this north side, making it difficult for Alliance. I mean, we're seeing Alliance just move across the map, trying to find any way on in, but of course, just not having that priority, not getting to Summers University is really starting to hinder them at this point. And now they're starting to move in towards the direction of more and more teams. You got the Vicious on the other side of this one. You got Pixel, Lumina, and 3 men. That might be the big thing for Alliance that might create an opening. Just the fact that there's a fight going on behind the Vicious, Alliance might have an opportunity here to come in for a third party.
This is the cost of running from Colonel Node and Solar Array. You have to dive to the north, you run into multiple squads, and you've got teams that are wanting every KP possible. So open that, create some cover, pick up Billy. Great, we're a duo. Not sure where Catch's death box is. It looks a bit further out, so I don't know if we're gonna have the 7 seconds to stick that, because we know what the Vicious did to Potassium earlier, and they're gonna do the same thing to Pixel if these nades don't finish them off. We are watching just a massive storm.
Breach charge, nade, breach
Bye.
charge. Just everything getting tossed at Pixel Lumina. That will finish them off now. The Vicious tried to look in for the third party, but it's actually Colonel Node that make their way across. And now the Vicious looking to finish things all off. 3 men taken out. Colonel Node completely healthy though, and the Vicious know it, so they'll instantly call it on that fight. That's the nice thing about running, of course, the extra charge on that attack. 1 to go in, 1 to get out, of course, as a skirmisher as well. If you get enough, you get another recharge. But what? Where did Colonel Node come from? They're right on top of them. Well, it's always, of course, having Maxwell in play allows them to come in for the flank, but it's just 1 knock right now onto Hoodie. It's a 2v1. MG Clutch holds the line. Nitro Gate on in. Orbit has almost no HP. Colonel Node get instantly wiped here. The Vicious clean out this northwest side of the map. Got a decent amount of kill points on them as well. Now the difficult thing is going to be this walk-in, of course, but that Nitro Gate is available for them.
Yeah, look, they're going to have some movement via that. We lost ECLIPSE, NEEVEPRO as well. Virtus Pro, 2nd place in match number 1, and found themselves in a stellar position, but need to clean out the side below them. So that'll be interesting. Vicious on the move, and everyone fighting for that next circle. For Prestis, this is where Ramparts and Newcastle's being a throw all in this match make things difficult. And this is why Maggie's so nice, right? You just keep riot drilling all of it.
Ooh. By the way, the Vicious were able to, I think they had to double Nitro, but they still were able to Nitro into the center of this next zone. And so, again, we're seeing why Axel has been a quick pickup in other regions. It was a little bit slow goings, right? When she was first allowed in competitive for EMEA, we saw maybe like 3 or 4 in like game number 1 and game number 2. But particularly here on Olympus, we knew it had to be a mass adoption of that legend. You need it, especially in a lot of these fights as well. Having that movement, how quickly you can get on top of a team. We're seeing how quickly that legend addition can change up the meta. I mean, the last time we had a legend getting added in kind of like mid-split or mid-season was Sparrow last year, and you know, he saw some use, but it definitely wasn't as big of an impact as Axel has had so far in the last 3 match days.
Yeah, it's been really fun. Her kit is super sick, and I think it's really annoying to play against, and also these nades, annoying to play against. Leading you, Nitro grading straight in, but they try to hold the line. Unlucky their Newcastle is down, which is going to spell very much scary things for Alliance, but they go ahead, they port back, and we'll see the Wraith Dome.
Yeah, they're in the safety of the kangaroo pouch right now, but not for long, and there we go.
They get unlucky back, that's going to be a reset.
Yeah, they don't take the ports to chase after them. Elite really don't need to. They have full control over here. And they can slowly walk in with this one. Elite have a really good read on what's going on in this map. They know that they forced a lot of teams out on the north side. They know that the big pileup is happening there on the western edge, and so they don't have to chase after this. For NOVO Esports, though, they're one of the teams caught up in this big scramble, and they will get finished off. We have about 8 teams stacked on top of each other on this little corner of Summers University right now, and it's all about to come to a head.
And it is. For Elite EU and Alliance, this is almost a brawl for win condition. But instead, Alliance get third-partied by Awakened, who hone the most side of the map. So back to the chaos, back to all the teams standing on each other. The portals come through, and Mamma Mia, you just have to focus one fight at a time. If they pop up in front of you, you cut them down, and that's the vicious. Now, this is one of the best fights here, because if you're tied for points on that series overview, this is the best way to ensure that you're the one that comes out on top.
8 squads remain here, and 6 of them are stacked on top of each other, essentially. Actually, Elite EU decide to get involved in this. They want the kill points. I mean, I can see why. They have so much time to work with, and they can just go ahead and back away, of course, with the Nitro Gate at any point. That's the nice thing about the Axle. You don't have to full commit to a fight. Whenever you want, you have that go button to get out of here, but the kill points could have been massive for them. Unfortunately, it looks like with Alter still in play, they're not going to be able to pick that up quite yet. Black Venom on the other side of this one. On the stairs there is Kaina and Elite EU just use this opportunity to loot up. Nades coming out now, putting themselves in a corner. They've got double Nitro Gates to get out, though.
But look at how the layers, the Watson fences, and it's Awakened down there closest to us with Phoenix, Micey, and Cracked. They are doing this such a smart fight. They're playing the long game. They're playing for the win. Let those kills come at the end, and everyone else collapse upon each other for fun. With that ultimate high ground, they'll have to drop down at some point, which could cost them based on the timing. I love that Elite EU and DSK kind of hold the line for the rotation, especially on the slow side.
Yeah,
the
it's
sky
that
we go.
Awkward situation that VP found themselves in again, right? Because of the multiple layers, and with the altars in play, a lot of teams are kind of at a standstill where they can't really move because at any point they can get flanked. VP, speaking of, not running the altars themselves, just have to brute force their way through this one. Mamma Mia gets taken out. Taskmaster will get picked up as well. They've got plenty walls to play off of that, as the Sheila for VP keeps them alive for now, getting a knock onto Staga. DSK tries to walk this one in, but VP are able to stabilize off of that one, maybe even pick up 3 kill points for themselves. We're now down almost to 4 squads here, as ForFun Esports are looking for the third party.
Yeah, DSK kind of signed their death warrant moving into Awakened, because Awakened pushed off and then went straight into VP for fun. After that Valk ult, they had a large majority of space, but VP staying alive has been such a nuisance for absolutely everyone. Instead, Awakened full sends in and takes L-Stars towards the face. A riot drill to try and stave it off. Micey 1v1 against Prestige, who's 5 HP to Dream, and he holds it. Awakened falls down to the top 3.
Oh boy, and he's able to come in for the third party, but no, VP ends up going down in third. It's ForFun Esports versus Elite EU, and ForFun Esports has been setting up this fight for a while. They already got a knock early on onto Elite EU. It was an easy cleanup for them, and ForFun Esports will be your winner of match number 2.
That's absolutely insane, because they held ultimate high ground there just before their Valk ult. They don't have that Valk ult. Things are completely different, right? You have to focus on what you've got to use, whether or not you're walking it in, you're dropping off high ground, but literally taking to the skies, grabbing space in the north. You're getting information on where absolutely everyone is, and you just third party for the win. Exceptionally well done.
Yeah, I will say, though, that kind of opportunity was left open for them, because Elite EU, we saw them when we still had about 6-7 squads still alive. They decided, hey, we want to get some of these kills, and so they got super deep into that zone when they could have played it a lot slower. They could have played the edge of the zone. They could have, of course, just controlled that. They would have given up maybe 2-3 kill points throughout all of that, but at the end of the day, when you're in the top 5 situation, every placement point basically accounts at least a half squad wipe. So kind of missed out on that opportunity for Elite EU, because they did have the game-winning position earlier on. They just ended up giving it away for a bigger game potential.
Bro, VP with 16 kills. They had 12 kills in map number 1, 16 in this one. They are looking so good when it comes to fighting. And even though they haven't won, they're sitting at the top of our series results with 44 points. This is going to make things really interesting, considering after ForFun Esports grabbing that win, they go up 15 spots. And I'm not going to say it, but I did count the Vicious in, and so they're doing pretty great right now. Just want to call that one out, Jamerson.
Yeah, I mean, again, great showing coming out from all of them. But we do also have, of course, the multi-view. It's still in beta right now, but of course, a large thing that the community has been calling for a really long time. You can choose so many different perspectives, whatever your favorite team is, comms, everything. So make sure you go over to algs.ea.com to set up your multi-view. You can even draw on the screen along the way, which is nice and helpful. If you want to use the map screen, try to do your own telestrator situation. We have a lot of our own talent do here, but yeah, I'm so glad that we have that addition of the multi-view.
Yeah, and you can use it for APAC now. It's like, you got all the regions, baby. You can watch it your way, especially if you are keeping tabs with S8UL, if you're keeping tabs with Zeta. There's so much Apex to happen, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen for EWC LAN. But of course, we still have a regular season and regional finals to get to. All that more to come after this break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Bro. One more. Oh my gosh. No. Two more, never mind. That's all you got. Oh! They call that a dupe wipe! Dude, I killed one, I'm hitting bad, I killed one. One more. In and out coming. Okay, I'm coming back. He's one. You got him, nice. Peace. 110, good. Yeah, I'll play the right. Nice shot. You got a kill?
Yeah, I'm killing. What happened to that guy?
Nice. Come back. Yeah, come.
One, down.
He killed one. I gen behind.
Knocked.
Coming. Nice. 110. Watch out, No. Cracked one. It's Hal, man. Crack. One more. Oh my. Nice! Come on. I'm gonna Cracked. One. I'm here. Swing. Dead. One more.
One jumped off right.
No, he's in zone. He's in the smoke. Nice, get up. Follow me.
Come.
Go on. Hold it. All that. Kill run here. Kill run under. One. Hide for it. Oh, it's not here. Oh, nice. Play my drop and play my. It's a crossfit. Swing him. Who is he compared to you? I'm so high. Let's go. Nice. One beneath you. Right up. Trying to come up. One up on your right. Holy. I'm bowling right. No! Look, man, I'm killing them! No! One down. One! Come here! One in the back! One! Nice! Good job! Guys. I think I was more nervous for that than I am for my own Pro League.
Everybody, it's the Apex Legends Global Series. We are just 2 matches in on match day 9 here for EMEA. We take a look at our Pro League standings and where things are after after what we've seen so far, Jamerson, because we have seen some absolutely insane performances out of VP so far today.
Yeah, I mean, not just today, all split long, but VP have been doing an amazing job. And honestly, when we were talking about like who's going to be the top dogs in this split for EMEA, I didn't really quite put them there, but they have easily cemented themselves as one of the best teams in the region so far, off the back of some amazing playoff Oz's as well. I mean, we got to see it there in the late game. They didn't quite get the finish there, match number 2, but it was still an electric finish for them.
You know, another team that I actually want to shout out while we're preparing to dive into the third match is Awakened, because well, we didn't see at the top of the show, we mentioned it, but they're one of those teams that was kind of trying to fight to survive relegation. And so far today, they have absolutely showed up to keep themselves in a much safer spot.
Yeah, there's a path for them. I think there might be an opportunity if they end up with a second place finish here to even make it to regionals. But again, that's a tall task in a group like this. When you have VP, you have Alliance and Aurora all in here. But there is still a path for Awaken, and especially to try and avoid relegation themselves. They were only a few points off from that top 23. So I think they can make it. But again, it's such a tough ask when you have so many amazing teams in this matchup.
Yeah, the one thing that has really kind of opened up that points opportunity for our teams in the first 2 matches is the fact that they're not getting points sponged by the likes of the Aurora and the Alliances. Both those teams having a little bit of a slower day has kind of really illustrated what the other teams can do opportunity-wise when the heavy hitters aren't taking those points out.
Yeah, speaking of point sponges though, I mean, did you take a look at the Vicious and VP across 2 games? 48 kills! 48 kills between 2 teams in 2 games. That's insanity.
I mean, I'm not mad about it. I love that, you know, it's the last regular season day, Jamerson. These teams gotta step up to the plate.
That's an average of 12 kills per team per game across 2 games. And we rarely get to see a performance like that so early on. And so I don't know what's in the water today, but you know, give me more of it.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We're starting things off now with the winner of our last match, ForFun Esports. And the variety right now, something that we talked about at the beginning of the split, something we've seen throughout the split as well in EMEA, is the fact that we get an opportunity this time around to see so many other teams showing what they're bringing to the region.
Oh, looks like for our final showing here, we are going to the south side of the map. And this one's pretty interesting. We are seeing some early movement already out from Estates from VP to get out of there. Of course, it's Estates. It's not particularly hard to loot and get out. They use an evac tower just to try and cut off Aurora and make sure they make it through the choke a little bit faster there for themselves. But already teams like Stay Healthy, who, you know, for a team like Stay Healthy, who just need a decent day, right? They don't need to do anything spectacular here. They just need to make sure every single game they're putting on 3 to 4 points. They'll move on. They'll move on to regional finals, no problem whatsoever. So there's something freeing about that, where all you have to do is just have even mediocre games, and you can move on to regional finals.
Oh, 100%. It completely removes a little bit of that stress. But now we're getting to a very early game engagement right now. You see Phoenix, no shields whatsoever as we check in with them to see how this fight's going.
Ooh, you were talking about Awaken earlier. They need a standout day. I mean, they're currently in 5th place right now, right? With 17 points. It's going to be difficult to try and outpace our top 2 teams, but it looks like CJ will find an opportunity to get his squad out and maybe even take that tower on out for Havoc Legends in a fight right now. It's Headshot that was the only one alive, but 3 men will go ahead and finish that one off. Oh no.
Actually, it's fine. It's fine. Deathbox Res is totally fine. Everything's fine, Jamerson. Defense is the real MVP right now. But one thing, this fight, Jamerson, for 3 men's kind of crazy to me though, because they were in Bonsai. They didn't have a ring console, so they didn't know where everything was going to shift. I think they were moving up to try and hit that console and get that information, but their spot in Bonsai was fine for now. Like, they were completely safe. Obviously, they do eventually have to shift north, but that shift is what found them in a little bit of a hairy situation.
don't know. I'm still trying to recover over here. You can hear the ticks. Just tick, tick, tick. It's like, stop. Just don't res me. Stop. All right. Aurora, though, they have a massive pile up here. We talked about VP's movement early on coming up from his states to try and cut off. Aurora is possibly going to work out for VP. Again, VP, who has been farming this lobby, put themselves in another position where they can play a massive choke to pick up more and more kill points. Here's Mega, though. Looks like, I'm wondering if they're going to drop down on a squad, if they want to continue chase, and that's exactly what it is. They're going after the final member of DSK, who's over at Stabilizer right now. For Ben, they're taking a fight currently, as looks like, yeah, a lot of Gibraltar Ultimate View Sparrow sighting, by the way.
Oh.
Huh.
That one. Okay.
Just ask for it, right? Talk about Sparrow in our last match, and we finally get a Sparrow sighting. The only one. I mean, I feel like we haven't really seen too many Sparrows outside of like match day 1, where EMEA we're trying to figure out what the hell's going on in the meta. So this is an interesting pick for Ben, but it looks like, you know, it's a lot of aerial denial, right? You got the Sparrow ultimate, you got the Maggie Q's and Maggie Ball. So, wondering what the thought process is there for that squad.
Definitely will help them a little bit with information. They are on that south side. They've moved away. It was ECLIPSE that they were kind of going back and forth with. And meanwhile, that solo on DSK that you had mentioned also does go out as we check in with a very hurt VP right now. Taskmaster down to pretty much nothing. Prestis out. They're going to be trying to survive in whatever way they can right now.
Yeah, it looked like VP were getting a little hungry for more kills there, and the fight just kind of got away from them. But they should be able to survive, and do have a number of respawns that they could pick up on the outside of the zone for Alliance. They were able to make it over from that Rift side, but they've made some interesting moves here, actually. You might run into VP. They've got the Vicious ahead of them in his states. You can see them on just off yonder there, but VP will hold out for now. Unfortunately, they're slowly getting boxed in here. Alliance might find an opportunity to come in for the third party on this fight.
Yeah, this is potentially a little bit of a scary pinch situation for VP, especially the fact that they're at a duo. The second one of these teams realizes that it could spell disaster for them, but I think Alliance playing a little bit safer now, kind of waiting in the wings to see if there is, like you said, that third party opportunity. The Vicious have decided to back away, and VP doing a good job of deterring, kind of holding this space here to stays for just a little while longer until the next zone shift. So I mean, they'll survive for now. Will they be able to get back up to 3 is the big question.
Yeah, they should be able to. That's the nice thing about the weapon meta right now. Having the long range options, longbow being one of the big favorites, you could do so much damage that even in a 2v3, you can still play big with that longbow and keep teams away from you. I mean, if Vicious knew it was a 2-man, they probably would have sent it, but being able to put out the damage that VP were with that longbow just keeps them at bay. Alliance finds no opportunity to come in for the third party, so Alliance now move forward. They're gonna be heading up into, looks like, Aurora and Pixel Lumina on the northwest side, but this is going to be a pull more towards that northern terminal side right now. So for a lot of our squads, they're down on the south. Ben, ECLIPSE, NEEVEPRO, 3 men. Not gonna have too much ground to work with walking in this next 2 zones.
I mean, and on that push in too, I don't know how they got caught out, but Aurora is down to a duo now. So they're going to be trying to stay alive with quite a few of those squads in the area. Alliance potentially at their backs as well, while also trying to get back up to a 3. So we'll be keeping our eyes on them, as they've definitely had a less than ideal start so far to the day, and they're going to be looking to pick that up as we get to see the rest of the squad slowly shifting over to find a little bit of new space, like you were mentioning, more towards that north terminal side. We've been checking in with Mamma Mia just a little bit here, so let's jump into a quick listen in as we get to see what they want to do with this rotation.
Non ci frega un cazzo. Da qua puoi farlo, no? Qua c'è...
Dammi qua, faccio quella figa.
Vai. Go, go, go.
Uno qua!
No, raga, non devi restare adesso.
You speak Italian, Jamerson?
Puoi pigliare il TP forse?
Sì, prova ora. Dio.
Morto.
No.
La sapeva, I guess.
Jamerson, that was just a bit tough. I think we jumped in and maybe gave them a bit of bad luck, because as soon as they peek over the rock, it would just spell disaster for them. Forced the bubble instantly, and there was just no way to find any safety.
Yeah, it's just the blind rotates. Sure, Alter is still in play, but you don't have that crypto. You don't have that drone to go out and scout. And unfortunately for Mamma Mia, you know, started off, it sounded great, the Italian in our ears, and then it went to Pompeii. It was basically a disaster for them immediately upon taking that Alter Q, and they knew instantly. Now here's Alliance looking to try and eke out a position up against Mega on the other side of this one, as Unlucky, he's able to dodge out on a lot of that damage. Oh, getting in and out through the void, and avoids that Gibraltar ultimate for himself. Allows Aku and Hawkins to step forward now, but Nate and Kiner on the other side of this one. Nate has been such a beast, but a huge ball out here. Keeps Kiner in place long enough, but it's not enough there to get that knock. Aku charging forward now, but it looks like Mega will back away without losing a single member. Kiner was down to about 5 HP.
That's insane that Kiner was able to escape in that scenario. Alliance now taking a little bit of that damage from the ring. They try to move in, get those heals off, and see if they can potentially re-engage. And I feel like they need this fight. They need something to start snowballing what we know Alliance can really do.
Oh, we needed an air burst nade ready for them. Aku, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Zidane is able to get the knock onto Hawkins, but now it's down to a 1v1. Unlucky has plenty of HP, wants to finish him off here. You can see Hyarka on the other side of this one. Alliance versus Aurora. Unlucky's gonna go ahead and back away, take that height, and just get that res. Third party comes in. Pixel Lumina, great timing there, but unfortunately it's the fourth party. Another angle there. No, it's not even is it a fourth? It is.
Yeah. Oh, this is rough. Aurora heard the chaos. They're just taking shots from a distance. They haven't really moved in too closely. Pixel Lumina smelled some blood in the water. They also tried to move in, and this has kind of caused a little bit of a standstill. Everyone has taken a second. Alliance might try to reset inside the ring right now to
There's
at least get... okay.
Just enough time for these syringes to keep them alive. And yeah, the Q keeps them alive. They get into zone, but their position has been given up. They know they are there. Aurora keeping eyes on it for now. An Alliance, unfortunately, have the zone closing in on them. They won't even have an opportunity to try and go for an evac at this point, because Aurora have just free reign on this side of the zone. Q in, and it looked like they were looking for that Valk ultimate, but again, Aurora have no pressure on them whatsoever. They can apply all the pressure onto Alliance here, and it's just the slow burn, slow war of attrition up against Aurora here. They are leapfrogging closer and closer though with these Qs, but you can see that they're just running out of time. They're running out of meds. One last syringe here for Unlucky. He's going to go for a Hail Mary play into the building, but ForFun's on the other side. You got to stay quiet, Unlucky.
No way that they were able to just take inch by inch and somehow find a moment of reprieve inside this building. Like you said, ForFun is in here, and you can see that they are looking Alliance's way, and they find themselves in yet another tight spot. VP eliminated in the kill feed, and now we're checking in with ECLIPSE as they are finding themselves in the back and forth here to clean up some of this KP.
Oh no, Francis goes down. They're trying to clear this out. There's another knock as the Vicious now in a 1v2 up against Pixel Lumina. They'll get taken out. This is massive for Pixel Lumina. Our team on the bottom of the bubble here for this group need a massive day. For Aurora, they are still on the hunt to look and finish off Alliance. There's one more player down for them. We're down to 9 squads here, 24 players remaining, as this ring ends up pulling away from Terminal and goes towards that northeast side of the zone. Currently, it's Elite EU that have full control over it once again. We'll see if they give up their spot, but I don't think they do. They have a building. They're in zone. Now they have their back cleared as well. This is a great spot for them to finish things off and kind of rectify the small mistakes that they made in match number 2 to secure a win here in match number 3.
You know, Terminal has been really messy for a lot of these squads, but you could see there on the mini-map that Solo on Alliance did manage to make their way over to the Crafter, so we could see an Alliance reset here, throw down that Moby, get them back in, and get the trio back up. That would be super helpful for them as they're trying to get just some more points on the board. Meanwhile, Ben down to a duo. Trying to see if they can maybe win in a fight here against Colonel Node, who are also down to a duo. Ooh. Oh, and they run straight in and instantly get down to Solo. The Wrecking Balls, though, Jamerson, are putting in so much work for our teams here today.
Oh, boy. He's got to be careful. He's the only one up for his squad right now. The ring comes on in.
Yeah.
Ben get eliminated. And despite that wrecking ball, it was enough. Pixel Lumina right now, though, throwing everything at this fight right now. They got them backed up into a corner. It's all up to Tricks. And oh my goodness, 3 men just hole up in that corner to keep themselves alive. ForFun Esports try to take this fight up against Aurora right now. Effect moves into the corner here. Sinet tries to slide on in, but ForFun Esports, they just have the positioning here to finish things all off. Elite EU look to come in for the third party, only sending 2 members out right now, not allowing them to go for the reset. But Tyler gets the bubble down, should be able to get the res. Ultra Q out, Cats in the cradle, just to make sure they don't get through. And it looks like ForFun Esports will be able to stabilize here. 3 men end up getting eliminated as HM drop on top of them. ForFun Esports, they're not out of it quite yet. They're still looking for another time to stabilize here. Bubble out here for Tyler, and it looks like ForFun will be able to get that res as Elite EU just did not have the firepower to finish them off.
Honestly, ForFun's been holding that space down really well. Colonel does get eliminated by HM, a team that moved in and was able to clear out quite a lot of space for themselves in the process and get some really nice KP on the board, completely uncontested on the southern side of things, while all of the chaos was happening up north. So it's going to be huge for HM. Elite EU is backed off one more time into the safety of the next ring, allowing ForFun to get a full reset with all of those bins that they're, all those loot boxes at their disposal as well, to kind of get themselves back up healthy, reset and looted. And now they've moved finally away from Terminal and will try to look for a little bit of cover out in the open.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We have 3 different compositions heading into this final end game between HM, Elite, and ForFun. But ultimately, it might be the utility that ForFun Esports have. Having the Gibraltar, the bubble, along with the defensive bombardment might be enough. There's some knocks onto Zod as HM ends up getting eliminated. So it comes down to a clean 3v3. Elite EU versus ForFun Esports. ForFun do have the ring to the back right now, kind of backs away with that first Nitro Gate. That's only 1 defensive bombardment out. We'll see if they can get a little bit closer. You can see that henchman gets a lot of value off that pylon, kind of looks from the angle, gets a lot of damage off the Tyler and swings right on in. They're backed up into a corner, forcing out that bubble, but the Nitro Gate there to throw the reverse Uno onto them is now Elite EU. They've got the man advantage. They're looking to finish things all off, and Elite EU do learn from that last game. They'll come back here in match number 3 to close things out here on Olympus to get the win.
Really, really strong final fight there on behalf of Elite EU. Able to capitalize when they saw the damage coming through. I mean, they played that right. The unfortunate, you know, pinch situation for HM being between both of those last 2 squads, but in the end, Elite EU played that entire match really well. They pushed when they needed to. They took fights when they needed to, backed off with that engagement with ForFun in the beginning when it wasn't going their way, and gave themselves an opportunity to reset, and in the end, it paid off.
Yeah, they definitely learned from what happened in Summers University in match number 2. They didn't full commit onto a spot in the center of the zone. They kept the zone to their back and played that as just natural cover to make sure that no one walked in from behind them for free, right? And so playing that one patiently was great. I do like what they did, right? Trying to get involved in the third party up against ForFun Esports, but we saw the power of the Gibraltar there as a support legend, making the resets that much more palatable for them and easy to do. So Watson ends up being the next ban here. And, you know, this is an interesting thing that we didn't really get to talk about, kind of how the legend bans have been working out here, particularly for EMEA. I mean, we saw a large focus at the beginning of the split where it was a lot of controller legends, right? And of course, Caustic we thought was going to be the big, oh yeah, game number 1 banned, but now he's like rarely going banned. Watson is the new controller legend that eventually, when we go down the ban list, she does end up going out.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the series results here. What all of that means now after 3 matches and Olympus being done. VP still holding on to the top spot, but you can see that teams are starting to shift around after getting some more points on the board. HM does jump up into that 2nd place spot, not too far behind VP, with a few more shifts throughout. Finally starting to see some sparks of life from Aurora and Alliance as well, but still definitely, you know, looking for just a little bit more as we move into the next map from here. And, you know, this is going to be an opportunity for that. I mean, how well do Alliance do Storm, right? This is the map for them. So we'll see if they're able to bounce back at all. Before we get into all of that, though, we have our halftime show. And before the halftime show, we have a quick break. So we're going to set it to that, because when we return, we'll dive into just a little bit more Apex Legends action. Don't go anywhere.
Red Bull is giving wings to the ALGS and the Apex community.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hello, my little Apexes. It's Lace once again, here to bring you the top 5 community plays of the week. And I reckon we get straight into it with number 5. As we welcome back a familiar face to our community place, Brandon has the ring closing in. The entire map looks like a volcano exploded inside of a microwave. Shots fired immediately. That aim is cleaner than my search history after tax season. Look at this positioning, and by positioning I mean sprinting directly into danger like a raccoon chasing a Dorito. Confidence levels are skyrocketing right now. The battlefield looks like a Transformers movie directed by someone who hates eyesight. Circle is microscopic now. There are wraith portals, jump pads, 36 explosions, and approximately 0 safe decision remaining. What we have just witnessed is equal parts skill, luck, violence, and untreated adrenaline addiction. As Brandon celebrates the win, let's dance our way into number 4. Straight into the action here with Aku. Rooftop fights already popping off, and absolutely nobody involved has health insurance. Look at this aim, though. Smooth tracking, controlled recoil, enemy shields evaporating faster than my paycheck after a Steam sale. Teammates moving in, chaos is everywhere, and our player is picking angles like he personally pays rent in this POI. Audio completely useless like every Apex match ever created, though. Look at this confidence, sliding into it a drive-by like Lightning McQueen as we ka-chow our way into number 3. We've got Diamond Lobbies, RP on the line, and Dayton, our player, already moving like he owes money to 3 different squads. Arc stick to the face. Imagine opening a door and regretting everything. R99 out, bullets flying, and oh my god, that tracking is insane. That team got melted faster than an ice cream in Australia. But hold up, another team is pulling up too, because apparently every Apex player with a 5-kilometer radius smelled violence. His enemies are trying to coordinate, but our guy is moving around them like a caffeinated mosquito. Yep, probably shouldn't have pushed that one, my guy, but it looks like Octane thinks it's his time to shine, but not when Dayton has you in his sights. 1v5, no problem. Let's take a look at number 2. Look, We've all been in this situation before where your teammates have folded over like a wet piece of paper. However, Freezone knows exactly how to play this Wraith portal where the enemies will fall into the lava pit below. And I guess this squad ain't ever played the floor is lava as Freezone easily knocks these two thirsty players. Phasing to check the surroundings, and you can feel something else is about to happen as the final member of the enemy team also wants to return to the lobby. Amazing work there, Freezone, and this brings us to our final and #1 community play of the week. And it's none other than Sang on the bullet baddie ballistic with a swift drive-by knock and a Q to finish it off. There is no stopping him. You better not dare blink watching this as you'll miss the flick Kraber shot. I mean, Sang already has 10 kills. What's a few more? The kill feed right now looking like a grocery receipt. I feel personally offended that Sang chased that poor Maggie, but Sang is hungry for that RP. Final clean up now as this Ulta has nowhere to go but back to the lobby. And that was your top 5 community Apex plays of the week. My name is Lace. You can follow me at Lacey Somerville on all socials. And I'm just so excited to see what you guys come up with next time.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Apex Legends. Time for our halftime show. Welcome back, Tip, as well. Before we dive into everything, quick thoughts on what we saw there out of match 3.
Yo, it was wild. I was glad to see Elite EU take a win, but I think this series is just going to show that this is the last day of our regular season, and everyone is putting their best foot forward, which is leading to some of the most unpredictable lobbies. It's ranked out there, guys.
Like, really, though, like, Jamerson, we're getting so many teams that were either in a bubble position that needed to perform well, doing exactly that, or teams that are fighting to stay out of relegation, doing that, which has opened up the top, like you mentioned, for teams like VP to absolutely steamroll.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about when we talk about EMEA, we have to talk about I guess like the summers out there, because it is dense and heavy, and you can feel it in the air that there's a lot of desperations for a lot of squads that are on the bubble right now. And of course, we only have the 20 spots for regional finals, but also teams are still keeping an eye on making it into our LAN as well. You can see right now there are still plenty of teams that can get knocked out of that.
I mean, like this is absolutely insane. So we get to kind of visually see what this means. Obviously, that gold line is the cutoff for teams advancing to EWC, and then the top 20 teams will be the ones that are advancing to regionals for EMEA. And we're gonna get a little bit of an overview for EWC, because this is what everyone's fighting for, right? Like, this is the important part. $2 million on the line, obviously. 40 teams, 4 groups of 10. And the type of land that you guys are all used to at home, but everyone is trying to compete in this TIFF, and it makes things that much more stressful for these squads when they're trying to qualify through.
Yeah, of course. And I love kind of looking at our different regions. Unfortunately, my sleep schedule does not agree with me, so I always have to play catch up. But if you guys also are not keeping up to date with APAC North, here are your current Pro League standings. Zeta, if you guys are a big Yuka F fan and you're like, you associate Yuka F with Fnatic, no, that was changed for Split 1, right? Locks in with Zeta and has a really strong performance. Them and Unlimit are currently the only 2 teams that are completely locked in per our league ups to advance to EWC. Now we get set for regional finals, which is really interesting because you think of their most recent match day that they just had, that last B versus C. It was actually Unlimit that bested Zeta in that series. They were going back and forth. I think Zeta got 2 wins with a ton of kills, and Unlimit got 1 and a couple of second places, but their floor, it's just about whose was better. For APAC South, though, y'all, Wolf and S8UL. Jamerson, I know you were keeping tabs on S8UL.
Well, the thing is, we actually have 3 teams here in APAC South that are secured, right? Because VKG come in as the champions from last year. So they've already earned their spot a year out for this LAN. And so we have 3 teams locked in. That only leaves, I believe, it's still 6 spots for this, right? Because of VKG locking it in, we had only 8 spots total to qualify from APAC South. So that cutoff becomes even more dire for a lot of our squads here in the APAC South region. But it was no surprises whatsoever for Wolves and S8UL to be able to easily secure themselves into the top 2 and, of course, a spot at the LAN.
Which, of course, means now we're starting to find out which of our teams are going to be in those 40 teams out of those groups competing at EWC. I cannot wait because what we're seeing out of APAC North and South is already really impressive. And I love when we get to see all of the regions obviously competing on the big stage. So now that we've kind of gotten a little bit of an info, I think by the end of this, obviously, we'll have a couple teams confirmed out of EMEA as well. So we're starting to really see how things are going to be going here in just a little over a month. So hopefully everybody at home really appreciates the update on all that. Also, I'm just going to do a quick reminder. Make sure you're trying to solve that riddle that we gave you guys earlier on the day. And one thing that we didn't get to talk about at the very top of the show, we did mention it though, is the fact that we have a couple teams. Obviously, Group A has already completed all of their round robins. So there's some teams that are just waiting in the wings to see if they will get leapfrogged or not here, Jamerson. 2 of those teams, of course, are OAH and Zipline Mafia. So I mean, this is a tough spot to be in for anyone when you know that you're done playing and there's a small opportunity that people can outdo you and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, the nice thing for OAH is that they do have the tiebreaker win over here. So being tied, right, is going to be nice for them. But unfortunately for them, for both of these squads, for ALGS and Hungary and for Zipline Mafia, is that there are so many teams here that are really trailing them at the beginning of the day, right? Even going down to Pixel Lumina. Pixel Lumina were down by about 12 points here overall. So there's a lot of squads that can catch up. And a lot of these squads, like the Vicious, are doing an amazing job of trying to push these guys out of the bubble.
Same.
Well, we'll see if any of these teams are able to continue that now that we've changed our maps, because match number 4 is about ready to get underway. So let's get back into all of the action.
Let's do it. I mean, I can't even believe that we're already looking towards Storm Point. This entire series is just flying by. We've got Crypto, Newcastle, Watson banned. So when you get to Storm Point, it's kind of like, all right, what kind of legend comps are we about to see our teams lock in and get using? For Alliance, who really doesn't start out too strong on Olympus, you're returning to your coveted home of Northpad, Jamers, and good things have to come from that.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because we still have things like the Altar, the Valkyrie, and the Axel still alive. And so those legends will be very crucial in trying to get priority on zone, right? I feel like now we have come to really prioritizing playing zone over playing edge. It almost feels like, you know, edge playstyle is just absolutely dead. It's so hard to do nowadays. It's so hard to slow rotate into a lot of these zones. And so still having those legends available will be great. If, you know, APAC North was anything of an indicator, or scrims as well, probably expecting a Valkyrie ban out here. And particularly, of course, whenever we go over to Storm Point, Valkyrie is always going to be a big point of contention.
No, I mean, good shout as we look at our series results as they currently stand. The bubble teams that needed to perform well are doing so. 5th through 7th place, the Vicious, Colonel Node, 3 Men, even Awakened and Pixel Lumina. This is the day for them to leapfrog and do exceptionally well, making that happen. Mamma Mia, though, I'm starting to question, right? We knew we were tied for 20th place coming into this with the Vicious, and we're separated on our series results. I was on Apex Legends status. I was doing some research because we know crazy things are happening. More in particularly, I didn't get to shout this out, but VP did break a damage record at the hands of Prestus. He dealt 4,862 damage in a single game, so he overtook it, and they are looking so strong today. I want to see them continue the momentum here on Storm Point.
It was two records broken by Prestus, by the way, as well, because the damage diff in a single game, 4,030 for him. So I mean, I don't know what it is. Is Apex Legends like esports in the best spot right now, or are we seeing so many players that are able to compete at the highest levels really now without, you know, big dominant teams, right? Out of each region in Americas and EMEA. Now you leave the stage open for so many other players to take the highlight.
Yeah, solid note from production, though. I do want to say that it's since year 3. I don't have any historic data prior to that, and sometimes it's always for like last week, but a good look at to where the circle is going. And when is the last time I've had a circle in this area, dude? It's been so long. And for Alliance, who's got Northpad alone, they don't have the Vicious chowing them over there like they did in match day number 8. The Vicious actually lock into Lightning Rod, so some stellar rotations for them as everyone's getting on the move quickly.
Okay, I was watching Alliance there. We had actually one player isolated in Eclipse NEEVEPRO decide, I think they just ballooned past. I thought maybe it was an Axel jump on top of him, but no, it wasn't. Alliance are going to be able to stay alive here. And this is one that they can slow walk in, right? Not having the Chow, not having to bring in the conduit, they can play a lot more at their full strength. Speaking of, by the way, they are going for more of an aggressive comp. They've got the Alter, the Valk, and the Mad Maggie for themselves. So trying to slowly whittle away the positions that are on the northern side where you want to play a little bit on the slow side there will be great for them with this composition. They'll be able to get in close and involved in fights up against possibly Eclipse NEEVEPRO, Pixel, Lumina. But yeah, getting up here to wall and making sure you have a position is going to be very important. We don't see too many pullbacks away from wall. Despite what the ring has been doing throughout this split, or particularly in the second half of this split, I don't really know of too many rings that pull away from the wall like that.
Yeah, it's very few and far between, and I think a lot of our teams are going to make this bet that we are going deep into wall. Unless like you play where Havoc Legends is, I think this is also a good safe spot. So if it does pull back, this would be the next place that I would go for my bets on. But you're going to have to fight for this, and it's not going to be easy, especially when you have teams that are already rotating in. You've got Virtus Pro in the distance, and they're feeling really dang good about their fighting prowess, especially if you're out here besting records and just being a menace. Look, they're gonna do it, and look where they're going. They're calling wall, and they're ready to fight for it.
Oh, they're getting deep, and they do find the one building that is free up here. Eclipse NEEVEPRO just were not able to get deep enough. They tried to play out from inside, but it looks like VP will have the slow side of the ring to their back. Alliance just lurking here over at North Pad. We're able to catch out DSK on the rotate, and here's the thing, right? We don't have the Tridents anymore. A lot of these northern rotations were easy because you're able to use the Gibraltar, you're able to use the Trident and just kind of swerve past on the coastline. But you don't have that option anymore. DSK will get out. Hawkus took to the skies and will try to give chase, but it looks like DSK will be able to make their way over towards Down Beast, and never mind, Hawkus is still on the hunt right now, and here comes the rest of Alliance. Great damage out here. It looks like he was able to hit the Q onto them, slow them down long enough, and finally, the rest of Alliance show up to try and clean up DSK.
Look, you grab the redeploy off of the top of North Pad and you just full send. Like, are you not shocked? Like, they have to make up all the points that they didn't get in Olympus, and they looked so strong in Storm Point for scrims, where this is the majority where their points came from. So to immediately say, DSK, if you want access to the information up here at North Pad, you're going to have to pay in your life form for it.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate for DSK. They're the team coming out from Downed Beast, and they probably figured it was going to be a free rotate through North Pad, but Alliance was just lurking the entire time. So nice pickup for them, as Aurora now find themselves in a small engagement. Never mind, it's a full engagement here with the Nitro Gates out, chasing after the rest of Awaken. It's just CJ left for them, and he's been found out, and he will get taken out.
And they port in to go ahead and hit the reset and try to stabilize in there when Aurora comes up from the chase and immediately full sends. DSK is going to fall off screen. It looks like Alliance does get all of the kills that they want. They can continue on from the mill. They'll get to the wall eventually, right? We are just side questing through Storm Point.
Further from the wall, by the way. They're all the way over here at the mill now. That's how far they chase down the rest of DSK. ForFun Esports started things off great, 34 points, currently in third, but now looks like their game might be over without putting a single point on the board here. Synetic tries to get out, but he's getting tagged from all angles, and will end up going down. So ForFun Esports not having a great start to the second half.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not having for fun, but that's okay. There's still more maps to be had and more fun to enjoy, I guess. For the other teams in the lobby still trying to find themselves at wall. Next up, Havoc Legends. They've been holding on to this space on the outskirts. Now, have they found any real benefit from that? You're holding space, you've got longbow, you can cut off people that decide to come from these tunnels, but we really haven't seen people do that just yet. So I love that we immediately pull back into the teams that could do that, right? The Vicious, they're at the top of Black Diamond here. Ben is trying to rotate out, maybe takes a look and says, yeah, I don't think that's where I want to go. We're going the other way.
Yeah, this ain't it. You don't have to commit to this choke at all, especially with kind of where we are at in the game state. So many teams have already made their way deep within. You don't need to commit to that for now. Try and play the flex position instead. You have a lot of options, and there it is. With the reveal, no surprises here whatsoever. Very rarely do we see a ring like this pulled down towards command. It is, yeah, everyone expecting this one to go towards the wall, so we saw that early scramble. For a lot of our teams on the edges right now, for our teams like Alliance, for Elite, Mamma Mia, who are possibly getting into a fight here, they're not going to be getting too much, especially not Mamma Mia when you get knocked like that. Already the bubble's gone down, and now Mamma Mia are only left with Ekio here. And who knows for how much longer, as Elite EU are completely giving chase. And yeah, there's no getting away from that.
This is just the storyline of today. Like, teams are running it down. You don't really get options for reset. Even with the changes of the death box recovery, you just need 7 seconds, but you can't even do that because teams are not allowing you the even shred of dignity to get back up and try again. They want every KP, every point, because that's where we're at in our season. We take a quick back look at the wall here. Pixel Lumina, Virtus Pro claiming their own kind of spots, which looks nice. The big difference maker is where the Vicious decides to walk in at.
Yeah, I think for Vicious, they want to keep this slow side of the zone. They want to make sure that Ben don't come in behind them. It's a pretty free walk-in, and they will have plenty to work with as they walk in. Teams like Pixel Lumina, Virtus Pro don't have too many angles as well onto the Vicious once they do get in down that hill, so it'll be pretty nice for them. For NOVO Esports, though, they're making their way through command. They're trailing behind Colonel Node right now, but Colonel Node have given up the spot. Alliance versus Aurora. We love to see this fight. Hawkes takes the height right now as that cat wall goes down. Effect did spot him out up top there as Aku gets slid on by Ayarka. It's a 1-for-1 exchange. Unlucky comes in to take out Effect, and now it's down to the 1v1. Hawkes will finish it all off. Aurora go down, and Alliance are now the kill leaders in the lobby.
Can you say that again? Can you just like hit it ×2? Because I feel like it's so much more fun when you call it that, because you've been talking about Alliance and Aurora since the start of Split 1, and it just comes in a fight like that. I know they're not doing too crazy today, but they're making all their points count to make the comeback on Storm Point. Elsewhere, the battle of the bubble continues with Colonel Node on the day, through the portal, back and forth, making the chase, but they're leaving it down. This is where Caustic is important. You throw the back, you get that node down, and make sure that you fight through the gas, but here comes more teams. Oh my god, this is so much fun.
Yeah, the Seer ultimate goes down as well. Now Kuro deep in it, gets spotted out, and oh, he gets behind cover with 2 HP. Orbit was not able to get to the acceleration gate, excuse me, Nitro gate. There we go. They're gonna slide on out. Kuro cancels that a little bit, and they did split up, unfortunately. We'll see if they can follow up, but it looks like the third party will make sure that they're able to actually reset themselves. So NOVO Esports giving a small little lifeline for them as they're looking for a way on in. They clear out a lot of the traps, and now they're gonna work from the ground up. NOVO Esports, they themselves are gonna get third party from behind. K-Switty and the boys pulling up.
Oh, Potassium is here. Now you immediately see that K-Swinny takes a significant amount of damage, has to push back and get healed up, but they start the swing, and NOVO is likely not going to be able to stave off this push. It's just Adam, and he's holding on. 2 HP, can't do anything, and Potassium gets some points on the board.
Much needed for Potassium. I mean, this is another one of those squads where their only lifeline is a day win. And they're gonna have to start it here, only at 8 points, currently in 19th place. It's gonna be an uphill struggle, but with how we've traded wins, and you know, VPF slowed down a little bit in game number 3 at the very least, there's still a world, but it's gonna be difficult for them.
Yeah, it truly is. For Sweepy, it looks like trying to lay siege to this building is going to be really interesting, but this is why Alter still in play is going to be super critical, and you just have to manage and not get hit by those gas traps.
Oh boy, Potassium still trying to deal with Havoc Legends right now. Luckily for them, not too many teams rotating on the outside, and somehow they took so much damage. It was a 3-man swing out from Havoc Legends, getting the timing. Alter ulti out of this one, and luckily for them, no one is sitting on top of it, so this is going to be a full reset. And they do it just in time as Stay Healthy decided to pull out from Command Center. Colonel Node are able to get the full reset as well. I mean, this is the crazy part, is that this is where it all started. Colonel Node in that fight in the same position here are able to get the reset. Elite EU find themselves in a fight over at Command Center, running into Mega on the other side of this one. Light does have the mobile respawn beacon, but he only has 11 seconds here to do it before the zone starts closing in.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting day for Mega. We were so hot on match day number 8 in like every fight, doing all these things, right? And it's been just kind of under the radar. And now, hold on, Aku, hello. Do it again.
Ooh.
Immediately takes the portal in. That's where you go, straight into a caustic grenade. The chance of them getting pressed is going to be nice. So they're going to get him back up and make sure Alliance on the timing could not push that. We know he's still down. He's still down.
Yeah, they did not give them the opportunity here as Colonel Node with that full reset taking a fight once again. It's a 1-for-1 exchange until Kuro is able to get one with that knock, but now Colonel Node slides on in. K-Swinny has the HP and will be able to take him out, but for Potassium, they've got the zones coming in with them. Looks like he'll be able to at least try and rat this one out. K-Swinny will, as this fight between Alliance and VP has just taken way too long. Alliance were never able to capitalize on that knock, and it looks like VP with that caustic was enough to slow Alliance down. Those barrels, the Nox gas grenade, everything here. But now the Vicious versus Ben. Big nade sends Maxim back, but they've got the man advantage here. Ben will be able to clean up one. Now Vicious are left as a 2-man.
And the thing is, like, we've been seeing this fight almost happen throughout the entire game. And the Vicious were like, do we push off our kite? Do we go down the hill? And they decide to take the fight in the tunnel. They immediately lose out to 1, so it's going to be a 3v2. 2 in the hands of Vicious. But back to the wall we go. Alliance, who couldn't make the push onto VP. There's cats in the midst, and you have to go into the portal to try to get from the piercing spikes, but it's not enough. It's VP punishing Alliance for that one. And the Vicious, they fall to Ben.
Pixel
Why didn't they
Lumina
push
also
down the
going for the
hill?
third
Like,
party.
what are those comms?
I mean, it was a pretty easy cleanup for them, and I just think they kind of lost sight of what could happen here on the north side. If they had known that the big fights were taking place, Pixel Lumina were looking for a third party. There was an opportunity for the Vicious to try and stay alive as a 2-man. As we get a better look at the ring, this one's going to pull towards the south side of the wall where Eclipse and HM are currently set up. Unfortunately for both of those squads, even though they're in the center of the zone, they find themselves in a natural sandwich, right? You got VP and Mega and Pixel Lumina to their north, 3 men, Stay Healthy to their south. And so there's almost too many angles that they have to worry about here and try to hold. Luckily for HM, though, they do have like a big wall behind them on the eastern side that works as kind of a natural deterrence, but it's still always going to be a consideration because, again, we still have Alter in play. So these walls are, again, just ideas. They don't really exist. They're figments of our imagination at the end of the day.
Ooh. All right, so this is what Make EU Great Again is doing, right? They're playing on top of the roof where Virtus Pro is situated inside, and you kind of have to stay behind these like air conditioner type units because Pixel Lumina is in the building across from them taking angles. Ben just rotated down the hill, and you can see that's exactly what Nate is looking at, and we just have to minimize the amount of damage we take so we can have a ton of resources for that end game because this is going to be an interesting side as Stay Healthy has to rotate in.
Stay Healthy have plenty of natural cover, though. Unluckily for them, they've got 3 men and Ben off to their north and west, but go ahead and join them with Pixel Lumina, who have to deal with Mega and Virtus Pro rotating in from their north.
They're fighting. Come.
Like, solo,
I'm cut. One HP.
it's all you tricks. There's like solo behind us, catcher, yeah? Oh, yeah.
Okay. We can kill him. In a sec.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay, come again. Phasing. Caustic got it.
I think it's a solo. He's rezzing. He's popping. He's actually rezzing.
Go into smoke. Go.
I don't see. I got a fucking longbow. I'm back.
I got longbow. Chill. I'm fine.
You got longbow then.
There's behind us. Old building. I'm dead to that maybe. Pop the shop, please. Look below.
I'm drilling behind us. You're good.
I'm gonna have to put you in a pouch. We might need to move.
It should be a duo.
Putting in a pouch.
Okay.
Take, please. Just take and shoot fucking in front. Meet the third. Look at it. They're in the fucking corner.
We're weak. We're both weak.
Yeah, heal.
Bro, I'm
don't get mirrored. We need to go. They just fought. Oh, they finished. Heal up.
I'm with you. I'm ready.
We might have like jump over the fence and just full center.
Bro, can we play left side? Can we full wipe left side?
Yes, we have to wipe left. Yes. Yeah, ball.
I do. No one here.
Okay.
I'm taking red weapon.
And they're going straight on in. The damage is going crazy. The end game is here, and look towards the middle. VP takes to the sky. K Swinney on the Bangalore. We saw how prevalent that was in pushing Pixel Lumina away when that ultimate came in. The lone Bangalore, but down we go.
VP are gonna have to be careful. I don't know if they actually got the scan onto Pixel Lumina on the other side of this wall, but they have confirmation that there is a player there, but they are getting burned from right underneath. The riot drill's doing massive damage for HM, allows Pixel Lumina to play big. You got the infinite ammo on this Kraber. They've got space, they've got time, and they've got a pileup of teams on the north. Pixel Lumina, things were getting a little out of hand for them. You saw them that they were trying to pull at too many strings at once.
Oh, come on.
Only 120 there. But they ultimately were able to find a great spot and all the loot here. Mega gets knocked out. Trix is able to finish off Nate. And now Pixel Lumina, a squad that I thought was on the verge of getting knocked out at the beginning of the day, might be able to secure a spot in our regional finals, especially with the win here.
I mean, look, you're really letting Trix up here, a little squirmy Wraith with an infinite ammo Kraber to overlook the wall. Like, that's insane. And mind you, Pixel Lumina, they've moved up. They're in 22nd place on the series. They're trying to fight. How many points is the difference? Literally 1 series point. That's how much they need to do here today. They need to keep on improving just slightly, and a match win here in game number 4 would likely be enough because they're 7th overall on the day.
Oh.
On to VP.
Trix, you've got the Kraber. You don't need to get right on top of them there. You got to be careful. But now Pixel Lumina's trying to choke them out. It's ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO on the low ground here. They do have a Gibraltar, and they've got an Alter team right underneath them. They watch out for that. Barrels getting set down. This is going to be a difference. We've got 2 caustic teams up against a Gibraltar team in ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO. And if the fight takes place here on the roof, that defensive bombardment is going to do massive damage, but it looks like Pixel find themselves a small little corner to stay alive.
Barely. I mean, look at the health. And this is what Maggie in a lobby is still doing. You keep riot drilling and throwing the damage and burning them alive. Like, we have to play from such a minimal amount of space. And having that Alter team below you is being really difficult. But around we go and back through. We have to hold on just a bit longer. Audio clutter, visual clutter. The chaos is here.
Another defensive bombardment goes down as the ring starts closing in, and Pixel Lumina now down to just a duo here. They might be able to find out this ramp, but AJ gets 2 knocks. Does he get the full wipe? No. Pixel Lumina just hold on. But will they be able to get the reset here? ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO are set on this 3v3 right now as HM try to push out, but ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO have the rampart walls down. Unfortunately, they don't have that killer instinct to try and finish things off. They're just going to try and slow play this one with the zone closing in. Pixel Lumina are able to only get 1 res here, and ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO are able to slow things down enough with that Gibraltar, with the Rampart, to secure a win here in game number 4.
Yo, that's insane. You got Kashera, who literally is just sitting there with Sheila staring down the barrels at HM. And he's like, do it. Just move. We're going to clear it out. Then immediately sets the side onto Pixel and is like, you're not finishing resetting. What do you mean? Like, we have the space, we have the angles, and a nice, clean victory there.
Man, still though, AJ almost got those kills as well for Stay Healthy, but that's a great finish, by the way, for Stay Healthy to be able to rat that out to the top 4. That was a squad that's also leading the bubble at the at the bottom of the leaderboards right now, right? So Again, we talked about at the top of the day, all Stay Healthy need to do is just make sure every game they come in 3, 4, 5 points, and they'll be able to close out the day and secure themselves a spot in a regional finals. A rat play like that is a huge showing for them, but ultimately another team on the bubble, ECLIPSE, NEEVEPRO, another squad that just need to do a little bit. But you know what? They do something big like this. A 7-kill win will easily help them in their road to regional finals.
Yeah, this is such a great showing. I mean, look, 19 points, and then you see 11th through 20th place, Alliance, who started out really solid, right?
Yeah.
And then wipe a couple of teams, but ultimately, once they get to the wall, they get really held back by Virtus Pro, who's playing Caustic inside that building. They fall in 11th place, but they do have 7 points, so still some work to be done for Alliance.
The story of today is the bubble teams, okay?
Yes.
They saw us, heard us make the list, and they knew what they needed to do. And so many of our teams that were fighting to stay alive for their chance in regional finals are doing exactly that. Strong performance out of Pixel Lumina, strong performance out of ECLIPSE, NEEVEPRO. I mean, look at what that is doing to our standings as well. ECLIPSE jump up 5 spots, putting themselves in top 5, tied with ForFun Esports. I mean, Jamerson, what is going on today?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you can feel everyone's like Reiatsu, right? The spiritual pressure, but it's not that, it's desperation just to stay alive. That's what you're sensing in the air. That's what the air is thick with right now. And it's worked out. Like, people are channeling that desperation. They know, right? That it's not at this point just staying alive to regional finals, but also just setting yourself up in a really good spot, because beyond that, again, like Apex, there's always another mountain you have to climb. And once you make it to regional finals, now you need to look at top 8. So you do need to set yourself up. You need to have these big games. You need the win at the end of the day if you want to have a shot at making the top 8 to make it into EWC.
Listen, I was just going to shout out Pixel Lumina there, because they're now in 19th. And OAH down is in 20th. So like, things are starting to shift here, Tiff. Pixel Lumina is doing exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah, and this is why it was tough for those teams that were in Group A that just have to sit on the sidelines and watch, like Orgless and Hungry and Zipline Mafia, because these teams knew what was at stake. They knew they had to perform, and to come in, grab 2 top 3 finishes and get kills in a match 3 where you go out in 8th. Look, they know what it's going to take, and they're trying to make it happen. Look, you've got nothing to lose at this point, because what's the worst thing that's going to happen to you? You end up in Pro League qualifiers? No, you don't want to do that. You want to just at least get into the regional finals and find yourself competing for Split 2 and not having your, like, oh God, those Pro League qualifiers, man, they are wild.
They are. And we're also taking a little bit of an early look at our kill leaderboard, because obviously, like you guys were talking about in the last match, not only do we have 2 single individual records being broken by Prestis today, and you can see that reflected here with the 18 kills, but we also need to talk a little bit about MG Clutch right now, Tiff, because you talked about the Vicious. They have been absolutely scrapping all day long. They have been doing more than what they need to do to make sure that they are in the discussion here for regional finals. And look at what MG Clutch has been bringing to the table here.
Yeah,
with the KP. I mean, this is just insane.
Yeah, it's really nice when you look at it, because he's like got 14 kills down there, but Hoodie is at 16 assists. So this is a real coordinated effort throughout the teams. And, you know, Hoodie, this is exactly what it looks like when I play the game too. I understand completely. Yeah, we are valuable to our team, but it is a coordinated push. And it's unfortunate that they did fall to Ben in our most recent match, because they could have definitely pushed down that hill and maybe gotten a few more points, which would have kicked them even further up the leaderboard, because we've fallen down to 6, which is not bad by any means. And with 2 more maps to go, I think we boost these kills, and I think you keep full sending.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And of course, you know, we're going to keep reminding everybody at home, because this date is right around the corner. So make sure you mark your calendars. Tickets for Split 2 playoffs will be available starting next week. Make sure you're checking out our social media and the web for all the latest details on where you can get those tickets to see ALGS, obviously live in Las Vegas this fall. But while you're waiting for more of that information, we also have an opportunity to score some tickets for free. Okay, you can head on over to the ALGS website or visit our social media and get yourselves entered to win tickets for you and your squad. So that's 3 event tickets up for grabs. This does not include travel or lodging, but all you need to do is enter your EA email and you will be entered in to win. Make sure you do that. It's going to be an absolute blast. But it's time for us to get back into all of the action. Jameson, we're going to give you a little bit of a break for now. So thank you so much. Go take a rest. Tiff, it is me and you as we dive into match number 5.
Let's do it. Let's have some more fun. We got Mad Maggie banned, which if you're anyone else that's not playing Mad Maggie, you're like, thank God, because how did Preston get? Yeah, it's like, how did Preston get so much damage? He was riot drilling the crap out of the entire lobby, dude. Not only that, but he was definitely shooting. Like, his gunny was on point. But still, the riot drill is definitely helping bolster that damage. So now that they're out of here, what is that going to look like for our teams on Storm Point? You know, Axel's usually a game 6 ban, so we're stuck with Axel for the entire series. Nitro, Gates, and Kickstarts galore.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But now it's also really crunch time, right? We've gotten to take a look at where we're at for all of our teams after 4 matches. There's only 2 matches left on the day. So like we just mentioned, Pixel Lumina went from 23rd to start the day. They were literally in the relegation conversation. Now they're in 19th overall, putting themselves in the regional finals conversation. We are trying to see who can stay alive, who is moving into regional finals. Our team's getting knocked out of regional finals, who's staying alive into split 2, who has to go into that PLQ like you were talking about. There are so many teams fighting so dang hard. And the fact that Aurora and Alliance have not done a lot today has completely opened up the door.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's opening the door for a lot of those teams, but they're still going to be inside the top 20 and likely safe for EWC lane. I can't imagine them not qualifying through. That would be probably one of the most insane things that could ever happen to Apex Legends in the EMEA region, which I would also be down for. But HM, 57 points on the day. Okay, hold on to that. That's wild. Elite EU after one of their wins. Virtus Pro has been killing the entire lobby for the majority of the game. So we've got a series, Glitter. It's a really fun one. I'm having a good time, but with 2 matches to go, like you said, lock it in, guys. The battle of the bubble continues.
Oh, I'm very excited to see what happens here in match number 5, because towards the end of these series, when everything is on the line, is sometimes when we see our teams start to get a little bit more desperate, even more so than we've already seen them be in some of these fights, potentially more aggression, looking to pick up some KP and do whatever they can as we hop on board with the winners of our last match in ECLIPSE EPRO, who we talked about at the top of the show, Tiff, because, I mean, you have a former land champ on this roster. I mean, we know what they can really do and bring to the table.
Yeah, 100%. Look, they're incredibly, like, I'm just like looking at their names and I'm like, Chilling Turtle.
Chilling Turtle.
Francisco, Kashera, like, thank God we have the overlays, because I can only keep tabs on so many people's alter egos. It's a really tough job. But you know what I can keep track of? Where circles are going. And we've got another one that's going to be pulling south of the wall. So very similar rotations for teams that are on the southern side, like Stay Healthy, Mega, Mamma Mia, Ben, Elite EU. It's going to be fun. For the Vicious, don't throw. All you have to do is not scam your rotation late game, and you're going to be just fine.
Easy.
Don't scam.
I mean, VP, like, they're going to be sitting pretty over at Command Center. 3 men are moving in. You could see VP moving out just to get a little bit more central over toward Cascade Falls area. Awakened moving in, and you guys were talking about them, I feel like, right as they went out last match, and they're someone that cannot afford to have that happen. They were one of those squads in the relegation discussion, and they've been trying to stay alive all day. These last 2 matches are absolutely critical for them.
Yeah, okay, let's go back to the VP combo, because they are moved off Mad Maggie, right? Because the ban. Preston is now on Gibby. So they're Valk, Gibby, Caustic, which is going to be a lot of what our teams are running. And for ForFun, they've got the Rampart. They immediately dive down with the Gibby bubble, and Potassium is so low. They pick up K-Swinny, they're down. Like, they didn't even have a chance to set up a fight against ForFun there.
I feel like once ForFun kind of found a good rhythm here today, they have just been snowballing ever since that win. So yeah. I feel like this is the confidence boost maybe that they needed to prove that they can really be one of the top squads in the region and find themselves in top 3 right now is proving exactly that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got the Fraggers and Tyler and Nags, and Sonetic used to coach. So, and he would always kind of sub in throughout Pro League history. So he's constantly been at the top of the level. So to see those things start to connect for them is super fun.
Getting to see what ECLIPSE are trying to set up here. As you can see that they know they are absolutely not alone. And you've got a lot of people in this area already. Pixel Lumina right near ECLIPSE, and that's most likely who they have in the crosshairs right now. King's trying to see if they can land a shot or two. But you also have Aurora moving in. You've got 3 men across the way. HM just south of all of these teams. So we start to see a little bit of poke damage coming out of some of these squads.
All right. Give me all the poke damage, because that's how you get damage records, apparently.
Right.
Yeah, break some damage records. Look, we've had it broken so many times. It's like back to back. It was Zuni, and there was Mikey, and we're trading regions. Like, who at the end of this year is going to be the one to really, truly claim it?
And I was impressed the first time it happened, and now we're like, I don't understand how we're multiple times in now.
Records are meant to be broken. They're just benchmarks that we're trying to eclipse.
Oh, Alliance.
All right. Unlucky here on the altar, kind of setting their sights. We got pings going through. The ult's coming out, and this is where Unlucky is on that like aggro character for Alliance, can easily dive through. But I'm just curious, like, the call-outs, because honestly, if I'm having Legends, I'm running from Alliance. We don't want to give up these early game fights and be one of the first 2 teams to go through.
Yes, absolutely. Especially if you can figure out, obviously, that it's Alliance, given the position of where they both are on the map, the likelihood of that. But at the same time, Havoc Legends, I feel like they also can't afford to be super conservative anymore. You need to get some sort of points on the board. So if you find an engagement that even is working slightly in your favor, are you almost like forced to take it because a safe 20th place doesn't really do a whole lot?
You're also getting relegated. So these are the fights that you're going to be taking once you have to run through Pro League qualifiers again for Split 2. So it's almost like practice for Split 2 for them.
It's definitely a tough spot to be in.
We just got slammed. Okay. Into the waterfall we go. There's a little hot spring and a Phoenix kit. That's what I want for my life.
I mean, they are currently between VP, ForFun, HM, so definitely trying to see if there's any safe space for them to claim right now, or to at least move away from some of these teams who have found really successful fights all day. That's definitely not what we can want to be dealing with right now. Also checking in with Mamma Mia, a team that I was hoping would do a little bit better here today. They've seemed a bit slow, and this could be the game where they really need to pick it up.
Yeah, so we were talking about that, right? With our predictions, you had Mamma Mia, and now they're, what is that, 16th place on the series, and we got 12 points through our first 4 games, so we're averaging 3 points a game.
Not what we're looking for.
That's 1 kill team, 1 team kill.
We need more than that. We need a little bit more than that, especially with, like I had mentioned earlier, the consistency we've seen out of them throughout the split. They know they can do it. They just really need to lock in these last 2 matches. As we get to check back in with Alliance, who have moved away and through this choke, they potentially found a caught out player from ECLIPSE. Well,
they did find that player. They literally shot him out of the side. It was duck hunt for days, and now we can kind of keep moving from that. For Alliance, they were taking side quests throughout their journey and taking fights that they could to get into that next circle. We're looking to clear out the western side. You can see them on the screen, just barely on that dotted line. Pixel Lumina scouting. But if we clear this out with the way that circle shifts towards the west, this is nice. But I am worried because Alliance does have at least the Gibby for the bubbles and maybe some space out there. But for the other teams that are going to be jockeying to get there, they're on your screen. We're getting crazy. And Mamma Mia, you've got to hold tight.
I feel like I might be a curse today. I should never have said anything because now they're already down to 2 and almost down to 1. Black Venom's barely holding up, but a great shot comes through. NOVO Esports is undeterred regardless, and Mamma Mia is eliminated. That is not looking good for them, Tiff.
It hurts. Great shots don't equal team fight wins, and unfortunate for them, they're going to have 1 more game to go to try to solidify themselves inside the top 20. And last time they were in B versus C, they won game 6, so hopefully they can keep up that tradition. For Alliance, this fight was inevitable. They've got catch down, they've got catch out, but the Vicious getting crazy up north? Is that an ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO down and out?
What is going on right now?
Why are we out here? Scans?
It's
Scans.
Gotta be. Yeah, it's the only reason. I mean, they're safe now. They've gotten the information. They got some KP out of it. ECLIPSE was trying to go for that reset after they had lost Kings to Alliance, so they were trying to be out there just see if they could maybe get back up to a full 3. It doesn't pay off for them, and the Vicious now clear out Zeus, get the info they needed, get the loot, and they are taking that balloon into safety. There's no one in that chokey. They're going towards command center, so Vicious will be safe on the next step of their rotation. Great job on behalf of the Vicious. They've just been playing absolutely lights out today.
Yeah, it's super great. Pixel Lumina do escape with their lives after that initial Alliance fight. So the duo still here. Would love to go ahead and get Catch back into things, because mind you, Pixel Lumina was one of the teams on the outside looking in by just a few points. So a reset is needed, and you might have to dive over towards the wall to make that happen, or do what you're doing right here. Just actually, yeah, just on the outskirts of wall. Even better.
At least they'll be able to get themselves back up to a trio. That's the most important part, as they live to see another day. Now we're checking in with the teams closer to the southwest side of things. Mega here moving in, and they are about to push into so many teams here, Tiff. This could be a little bit dangerous.
Definitely. Did you see the interview with Zidane last week by chance?
No.
I love the player pictures that we added for this split, because I feel like him with the sunglasses on just really exudes the personality that we had last week.
Oh yes, absolutely.
He had his medal like right on the ready, the ALGS champs jacket sitting right behind him, and they were feeling some type of way. So double down on that energy. You got 2 games to do it. We're in 10th place.
They need it. They need it.
I mean, Nate was popping off last game. He was going crazy with the wingman. They were just a duo in end game in the wall, so not too great. But Havoc has got to get out of the wall.
Still playing really safe and really slow for Havoc Legends, just doing what they can to try and stay alive. If Pixel Lumina turn around, then Havoc Legends will kind of have this area to survive in all alone for a little while. But then when they eventually move in, Alliance is sitting there waiting, and that is not going to be great for them. It's what they were trying to avoid to begin with, and they're going to be forced into it regardless.
Okay. All right, Vicious, I'm locked in. Like, my heart rate monitor is not on, but it needs to be, because I literally was like, the Vicious is going to do this. They were tied for 20th place coming into this. They've been kind of inching into that regional finals. But now, to the sky we go. This is going to give us information. You can immediately see the pings of NOVO Esports just below them, who are also portaling, trying to get closer. They've got VP at the top of that hill. So we actually go to the Cascade Falls side, which, do you see the mini-map, Glitter? Do you see that? We light up red.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit scared there for a second, but they managed to find one of the few open areas for them to land in, and don't take any damage in the sky for it either. And they are now in a really good spot for the next ring. They are near Aurora, and we see them moving through just a little bit as NOVO Esports find themselves in a little bit of a scrap.
Okay. Chaotic finds one, Clutch finds another. We saw them just kind of skirt over. They double back because they don't want to commit to Cascades, and to get the full team wipe is going to do so much momentum for this end game, especially if we don't stay towards the end, because Ben slides straight in, grabs Clutch, now in a 3v2. This is Ben consistently trying to fight the Vicious and miss him up to the high ground. Hoodie, just a couple more bullets will need to do it, and he does it. The Vicious are out of here by the hands of Ben again.
I mean, that's the type of opportunity that Ben needs to take. It was perfectly timed. They knew that they needed to move in instantly after they heard that fight end. And not only do they succeed, but they get a lot of loot as a result of it. They give themselves a little bit of space on the southern side of the ring, and they'll be able to continue moving in from there. Meanwhile, we've got Colonel Node on the western edge of the circle looking at stay healthy. And this is a bit of a dangerous fight to be in, because if they do decide to really commit to it, nice shots. They're out of orbit, but if they do commit, there's a lot of teams looking their way to look for a little bit of cleanup.
Oh my God, the slide gets denied, and Kuro has to play the knockdown shield for Beamsy. You want to play the coverage here so your teammates can deal with that. The slide comes in and stay healthy. Eliminated. Dude, these teams that have their backs against the wall are just holding steady. But now when you're looking to have third parties come through, Mega is not who you want pushing straight into you.
I mentioned it was a possibility. They did do a good job making the fight fast, but Mega just wants to look for blood. I mean, they are hunting. They've already got 2 of those knocks down. Gonna be able to clean up on one of them. trying to find the solo left in Beamsy. Great decision out of Mega there to try and move in and capitalize.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to assume that since Axel's not getting banned, that even after your fight, no matter how quick you think it is, assume a team is nitro grading straight into Ryu for a third party. Colonel Node down and out. Aurora getting into a mix here, and Awakened also trying to stay steady. You've got ultimates coming through thanks to the multiple Gibbies in the lobby.
This is scary for them.
For Elite EU on the other side, though, like, kind of taking angles.
Great angles, too. I mean, this could potentially be a fight that they might be able to win, but even if they do win, you've got ForFun Esports just waiting in the wings to see how all of this goes. Awaken just down to a duo. CJ is knocked. Elite EU does get eliminated, so that'll be good KP for Awaken, but now you can see ForFun Esports trying to move in and see if they can really take this opportunity.
A little rogue Valk. You got the electrified dome down to hit the reset, and here comes oh my god, Phoenix, the gunny man, going crazy. And you just have to hold on, take the angles through the bubble. This is a bubble like craziness, right? Because you have the rampart walls as well. So teams that are trying to push up the hill towards you, you can immediately deny them just by the sheer defensive legend capabilities you have.
Yeah, Awaken did a really good job with that. Nice damage coming out of Phoenix. It completely forces ForFun Esports away. Now down to just a solo. Havoc Legends try to move in though and see if this is the opportunity, the fight they finally decide they want to take.
Give Phoenix a Kraber on the high ground, but the push is here. Havoc Legends, they said ForFun couldn't make it happen, but let me try. And Phoenix, they've got the Kraber down, but Micey wants to get him back up. Is the timing going to go through? I mean, they're behind the rampart wall. If you don't have anything to come through and make it happen, they flank.
Great bubble though. The bubble went down before Phoenix got knocked. Is it enough to give them the cover that they need? It's just down to Micey, and that was just too tough of a position. Havoc Legends do win that fight. They get that loot in that position, and honestly, they needed to do something like that. It's very unfortunate for Awaken, though.
Hey, Aurora got 4+ kills on the board. We got another Sparrow sighting in the hands of Oirain. Still, the team across from them will be interesting, right? Ben and 3 men. 3 men close, though. They were on the bubble, kind of been under the radar here today, investing a lot of arc stars to make this happen, and Oirain takes the damage. Bubble down in effect. Skirting through the lines, falls. Hiarka and Oirain are now in a difficult situation. You have to make the call out. Do we just say, we abandon this fight, we go to the circle?
Oh, no. They tried as well as they could to leave and try to survive. It does not work super well. HM eliminated in the process. You see Ben trying to get out. 3 men shortly following after. We're down to our top 7 teams, and people are just dropping like flies right now. Aurora might have been able to survive that chaos.
Oh my god. Well, Havoc Legends, this is the next circle, right? This is where we want to be in, but there's not a lot of coverage. Bubble is out. This will hold off for just a few moments, but it's not like we have our third yet. We're trying to get him back into the dome, get him back on his feet. Does he make it? He does. He crosses the line. The res coming through. Ben has fallen, and Aurora is doing their best to get Oirain back in.
Dang. And somehow, everyone around them lets the death box res go through. That's going to be massive, not only for getting them back up to a trio, but fully looted as well. Aurora is going to try their best to survive, but you've got Havoc Legends moving in, and it does not work out in their favor. 3 men also get eliminated in the process because Mega's moved in to see if they can get all this KP.
Hey, Mega's waking up. Mega's waking up. And Xenon with the PK bubble fight. This is what I live for. So who's going to be the new entry into the bub? Nate's got to hit the med kit. Just seconds away from finishing that. We're getting back to full force. Alliance, Havoc Legends, and Mega are your current final 3. And we're taking angles. Alliance has all the space. So we know that Mega and Havoc Legends are likely going to push into each other.
Yeah, this is a wonderful opportunity for Alliance, but Mega has been aggro all day, and they look like they want this fight. They've got a 2-1 split, though. Havoc Legends kind of putting them between.
Wait.
And Mega
Nitro gaining past him?
What?
Look at the rotate. Mega sets their sights on Alliance. They Nitro gate through. We've got a team going to high ground, and unlucky, they use the altar portal straight towards high ground. The triple take is really going to have the angles onto Mega, but we give up space, and Havoc Legends is actually close to Alliance now.
kind of love this choice out of Mega. It completely took everybody's focus away from them for just a moment, and now everyone's looking at Alliance. Alliance is now in the crosshairs of both of these squads, and they are trying to fend people off as much as they can.
Oh boy. And now they're diverting their attention over towards Havoc Legends.
Oh, they got jumped on.
Here it is. Another re-knock, and Zidane grabs one as well. This is going to be the final two. It's going to be Mega and Alliance likely fighting because all they're doing is putting pressure on Havoc Legends. Look at Zidane. He's even separated away from Nate and Kiner to make sure that we end Havoc Legends in this game.
Honestly, big brain plays out of Mega right now. Havoc Legends are just kind of forced to see if they can get any KP off of Alliance. It does not happen. They are eliminated, and we are down to our top two.
And what is Alliance going to do? They have to leave the cover of that building.
Bombardment.
There goes the ultimate. They throw it straight onto Mega. We're not necessarily working there, and there go the jetpacks trying to connect that Valk Q. The electrified dome is out, but you have to think about it this way. Timing of these kind of resources are everything. And unlucky, there's the portal. Here's the play. The information is there, and you have to make it work.
Oh, great angles too out of Alliance as they continue to shred shields, shred through flesh, and they are so healthy on the low side of this rock. Unlucky is destroying all of Mega right now as they continue to force the pressure. ALGS does go down though. It's down to a duo now for Alliance to see if they're able to clean this up.
Here comes the repush. The electrified bubble is down, but Aku's already in, and he takes the game win for Alliance.
Love that. Love that out of Alliance. We were waiting to see when they were going to wake up. Apparently, it was match 5.
Look, I told you they were looking pretty good on the back half of the series when they were scrimming. Storm Point will be kind of the benefit for them, right? They had a lot of points to make up after the Olympus matches earlier today, but that is a way to turn things around. And I was really curious what that push was going to look like onto Mega. Them nitro gating, they have the cat wall, they throw down 2 nitro gates, they ramp up all the way to the north. Alliance has to get out of that building, and I'm like, what does that look like? Unlucky with the portal plays, and they keep the pressure on that left side of Mega, and it was just crazy.
There's a reason no one ever wants to take Alliance's POI and Storm Point off of them, and it's because they are good on this map. They are scary. You don't want to get into a fight with them unless you absolutely have to. And then finally show us today what we know they are more than capable of. A nice little comeback there for Alliance, but we saw some sparks of life out of Havoc Legends, some nice slaying out of Mega. So, I mean, once again, you know, also we saw Pixel Lumina in the conversation for a little while. We'll see what this does for our overall standings. As we take a look here, HM and VP still at the top, but look at the jump up out of Alliance from one strong game.
You take a 24-point game, you go up 8 positions on your series results, and that's exactly what they want to do. They are within striking distance if HM and Virtus Pro really have kind of another bad game, right? Then they'll jump up, because that's just saying that Alliance could get another 18-point game, which they very well can. For ForFun and the Vicious, look, you can definitely hold on to a top 5 on the day as well, but when you've got Mega, who's starting to really heat up after that last game, they had 18 points in a second place. They jump up 4 places as well. But you really have to start keeping tabs on those bubble teams. Pixel Lumina, Colonel Node, I believe they're all inside the top 10. But is a top 10 enough to keep them in the top 20 or get in there?
Yeah, we're gonna have to find out, and there's only one more match left for them to really put in the work to make sure that it happens before we get into match number 6. So we're gonna send it to a short break. So when we return, the finale of our series, Match Day 9. Don't go anywhere.
Sony InZone, the official audio and monitor partner of the Apex Legends Global Series.
Red Bull gives you wings.
In every fight comes a moment where you either run from the fire or run through it. You will find me on the other side. Rise rise to the podium or from the ashes tomorrow. Gebt Vollgas! I'll push, you punish.
In the end, everything dies.
Agreed.
Not today, kapatid. You've got people depending on you.
Failure is an opportunity if you use it.
I love the hunt, no matter the game.
Time to rise and shine.
Thanks.
Gotcha.
You are not built for this.
I'm even better face to face.
9. Your moment came. You are not ready.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Apex Legends Global Series, where we are preparing to head into the final match of Match Day 9 here in EMEA. Match number 6 is right around the corner. But before we do that, we wanted to give you a quick reminder about this riddle. If you're just joining us, earlier we posted a riddle on social media, okay? We need you all to try and solve this riddle, because this riddle ties into an announcement that we're going to be making later on in the day at the end of our America's show. So if you want to see what that announcement is, make sure you tune in then. But for now, think about this riddle, okay? Give us your best ideas in chat, what you think this could possibly mean. Tiff, Jamerson, have you guys figured this out yet?
No.
I'm focusing on the wrong thing. Like, what does fishes mean? The fishes?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that makes me think of Twitch drops. The first sentence,
is that a literal
right?
red herring to kind of distract us?
Where
from what the
watchers
actual answer
watch
is?
and players play in picture perfect pitch, brother. What is that alliteration?
Perfect pitch 3 announced? Like, wait, is there a third perfect pitch?
Wait, I like where your head is at, Jamerson. I like this.
Like, I can't. Like, we're talking about Titanfall in there because we're talking about Titans falling, and I'm like, I can't. Like, I don't know.
Wait, pitch perfect 3 Titanfall? What? No.
If only we had an answer in the America show at the end of it. It's
We need it.
We're going to keep reminding everybody in chat too, so you guys can keep trying to work on solving that. I need to check chat and see if anybody has in fact figured it out yet. It's a tricky
Chat,
one.
tweet me. Chat, tweet me with your answers.
Yeah,
I want it.
Send it to
I
us on
wanna
social
claim
media.
that
Let
I
us
knew.
know in chat, because we're going to be revealing in just a few hours. But obviously, before we get into all that, we have to finish EMEA. We have match number 6 ready to get underway. Let's close out this day.
Let's do it, Glitter. Honestly, you know what it is? It's probably some crazy announcement for Hal's birthday, and that's why it's happening and being announced in America.
You already got the flippy flop.
You know what? The CEO gets more. The CEO gets
that's
more,
true.
okay? Hal can never get enough.
Luckily, we get to see them in NA earlier, but again, we have to round out EMEA here, and it's all hands on deck. Alliance with the win in match number 5 put them in position to try and get the match win today, which would be a great way to recover this split for them, which is a weird thing to say, right? Because in the past, in last year, split 1, split 2, they were winning 50% of the time, half the match days. That's what their baseline was coming into the split. With the big changes though, it hasn't been the same performance, but here, this is where they can salvage, which is still an odd thing to say, this split for themselves and ultimately end out the regular split with 2 match wins.
Look, this is going to be really interesting. Honestly. I'm so like, can Alliance jump to series top? Can they get another 18-point game?
The thing is, with where Virtus Pro is sitting, though, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Alliance have an opportunity to try and overtake both Aurora and VP. Aurora, though, not having a great day whatsoever. This is not what we were expecting out of them, so it does leave a huge opportunity for Alliance to maybe sneak in that second place finish.
All right. That could happen. I mean, look, this is where it all comes down to the fact that regional finals will be the decision maker for who takes the entire split one, right? That's kind of like another race that we're looking at, but it's all about getting into regional finals for those teams on the bubble that we've been looking at. And there's a lot of teams that we're in these groups playing today that we're jumping over Group A teams, like Orglis and Hungary, Zipline Mafia. I'm pretty sure they're on the outs. And watching this last game, you were just like, what is happening?
Yeah, it's never a good thing when you're just sitting on the sideline watching 6-7 other squads that are just right behind you. Most of them actually having pretty decent days. The Vicious, Pixel Lumina, ECLIPSE, NEEVEPRO, Colonel Node in their own way as well. So it's a tough watch for them as we get a look at our final ring of the day. Watson was banned early on, but we are going over towards the pylon. Probably, more than likely to pylon. I don't see too many rings pulling out of here at this point. You can see teams already setting up for it. Mega coming in. Easy rotate, easy prio for them. ForFun Esports, Mamma Mia, looking to recover this day ultimately. Can finish things out, but we're seeing that because of how much the game has accelerated, especially here in that first rotate, that teams aren't able to loot up. They're not able to hit the cheeses. They're not able to get the blues and the purples for themselves. So we'll check in with them in a little bit to see exactly where they stand. They're going to want that purple with how many Gibraltars we have in this lobby. Being a Gibraltar on blue versus 10 other Gibraltars that are walking in with purples is not where you want to start off a fight.
Yeah, honestly, I'm still keeping where Ben is and where the Vicious are, because that seems to have been a little bit of a personal vendetta for the last 2 games on Storm Point. So knowing that there's a likelihood of those two battling, even though they're very far apart, will be something I'm keeping my eyes out for NOVO. You got the Seer ultimate down. And now information will be gathered, hopefully. For Adam, it's tough when you're taking these fights on white this early on.
It's just because you're not afforded that time. You don't have the time to go hit an extra Evo cash to make sure everyone's at least sitting on blue. So it's very unfortunate for them. Here's Awakened. Oh boy. CJ down. There's angles on them, but luckily they've got bubble, they've got walls. They'll be able to get him back on up. Speaking of, Nate was just respawned back into the game. And so we are up to a full complement of 60 players here as Colonel Node end up walking. Oh no, Kuro was just caught in the middle of 2 teams. He will get finished off, but Colonel Node should be able to back away. They have plenty of res opportunities for them, moving their way over towards the mill, but it's going to be Awakened, the first team to go down.
Awakened are down and out, and I think they were outside the top 20 in the overall EMEA series. So will they avoid relegation, or will they have to go play Pro League qualifiers? We'll tune in with that after this match day, but I do not believe they will be qualifying for regional finals. For Potassium, trying to pull something out of absolutely nowhere. Need a banger game.
Yeah, for Awakened, they needed at least, I believe, a 2nd place finish on the day to avoid relegation. So I'm pretty sure they're going to Pro League qualifiers here. So it's very unfortunate. For Potassium, this is another squad. I don't even think a win here will allow them to avoid relegation. And especially not when Aurora jumps on top of you like that and you get finished off. And it's just a very unceremonious end for them.
Yeah, it is kind of dire. Aurora, 14th place overall on the day, getting Mixie, trying to finite this one, but Hyarka takes a ton of damage and clears out Potassium. Still though, This is not where they want to be on a leaderboard when they've been challenging for top of the game series daily, right? Like, we are looking for a win here in EMEA Split 1 in general.
Yeah, it's just been difficult rotates for Aurora. We had those two northern zones, the Cascade zone, or excuse me, the wall zone and then the Cascade zone. And we've just seen so many pileups wherever they decide to go. But, you know, end of the day, if they can finish off strong here and maybe a VP go down early, Aurora might be able to maintain their spots. Number one heading into regional finals, but VP have been making it difficult to say the least, along with ForFun Esports, who have also, you know, they started off the day strong and then kind of slowed down a little bit, but because of their strong start, they're still in a great spot to ultimately try and get the win here. Oh, someone's trying to get greedy for that Evo cash. Might go down, but no, Tyler's not able to connect with those shots from the longbow, and so they'll stay alive, but I'm pretty sure they denied the Evo cash.
Honestly, they've been just looking really good the entirety of Split 1. So to see them being consistent and being 4th place overall on the day is really nice for them. But this has been kind of the big watch, right? I believe they were 23rd overall, trying to get qualification for regional finals for Pixel, Lumina, Trix, Billy, and Catch. This is it. This is the final stand. And a team that was also looking for that is just up ahead of you in the top of Launchpad. Bubble has to be expended. You do have ultimates readily available should you need to expend.
Oh boy, the push comes out. There's the wall for Catch to allow Billy to back away. And that's going to be the complete disengage out here for Pixel. Lumina, never mind. Slight angle from the side here. Brings Billy down. He needs to get in, but no, he's going to get tagged by the Vicious from behind. Hoodie finds that one from range with that Hemlock, and no, Pixel Lumina, who needed a standout day, who generally perform extremely well here in B versus C, their road to regionals might get cut off here.
And this is where Orgless and Hungry and like Zipline Mafia from A that are not playing are sitting there with their like manifestation candle, like, ooh, can we get it? No, probably not. I mean, you never know. Pixel Lumina is one of the teams on the outside looking in. Same with Mamma Mia. They are two teams here today that can change their fate. Mamma Mia, though, they're still alive here in this game, but they need a strong performance. ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO trying to withstand. It's Mega on the other side, and Mega steamrolls. Nate's been crazy good today.
Yeah. ECLIPSE NEEVEPRO going down. They should have done enough to make it to regional finals. It's close, but the win definitely helping out there from match number 4. We'll see. It's the middle of the pack right now in the match day. It's just so tightly contested, so we could have massive swings. We'll see though. NOVO Esports, one of the teams that, you know what, if they get a win here, if they get like a 13 kill game, they might actually make it to the middle of the pack for themselves.
That'd be good.
And,
I mean,
yeah.
They're still potentially facing relegation back into the Pro League qualifiers, so still going to be really interesting, but those are the teams that will shake up potential regional finals qualifications. I mean, you saw Mega right there. They did have one member get out, but those two being finished that deep in Pylon are going to make Mega's recovery to a team of 3 for endgame really difficult.
Yeah, the Vicious right here in 6th place, actually on the verge of taking over Orgless and Hungry and Zipline Mafia, like we had mentioned, who are sitting in the wings. They're hoping this team goes down, and we'll see how this redeploy goes for them as they take to the skies with that Valkyrie to get past Havoc Legends. Oh, never mind. It looks like their flight path was a little odd. But yeah, they're going to completely avoid that for themselves. For Pixel Lumina, they were looking for to try and get the respawn, but they still need to craft the banner. They have the respawn beacon there, but they just don't have the crafter to get Billy back on up. And this is a very unfortunate situation for Pixel Lumina. They got NOVO Esports to their north that are looking to gatekeep. They've got DSK filling in from behind. 2, 3 airburst nades out. 4 Trix here as he gets swung on by Stagga, who doesn't even respond in kind. Trix backs away with that Q, and still, even as a 2-man, they're trying their best, but NOVO Esports are looking for the third party. They are starting to crest up the hill, you can see Novo. They hear the fighting taking place. Catch ends up going down, and Trix is the only one alive now for the squad.
Now, mind you, this is the life of Pixel Lumina trying to qualify for regional finals. So everything is going to fall on the lonely wraith of Trix now, making a portal play. Needs to dive into the void, but we're getting tagged from Pylon proper. We dive down, we find some coverage. But dude, we literally have one shield bat, a ton of cells, but people are looking at us and we are out of here.
I feel bad because I was the one who predicted Pixel Lumina not making out of this group, not moving on to regional finals, and now we're here. We're here. Oh, we'll see though. There's still a lot of permutations. Don't know if it's going to be quite enough for them. Even if they end up the day in 9th place to move on, we'll have, of course, League Ops do all the math for us, because yeah, we're never doing the math on stream. But for Colonel Node, they're actually lying in wait here over at Jurassic. It's Havoc Legends on the other side of this one. Orbit gets spotted out. He even gets a defensive bombardment dropped on him. Colonel Node, unfortunately, just did not have the heads up on that play. Havoc Legends should be able to clean this one up. Beamsy's the healthiest one here. There's a knock. It's a 1v2. Beamsy backs away, changes up the angle, gets some decent damage off, but he needs to get the bat off. Well, on the other end, you're seeing that Havoc Legends are not going to relent. The bat gets finished off, and now he swings around, tries to cure the thirst for himself. He's giving them the runaround, taking that ultra cube for himself. And this is such an odd fight. Havoc Legends still trying to chase this one down, but Beamsy, even though he isolates a 1v1, it's still not enough.
2 seconds left on that bat, gets it. But we are a glass cannon. VP eliminated elsewhere, and we're still trying to break down the 1v2. We get the knock, but we are 5 HP, and we get caught out. Colonel Node is down. But man, that 1v2, that was entertainment.
Yeah, Colonel Node, they were just behind Orglis and Hungary and Zipline Mafia. And with what they've done so far, should be enough to tip them over the edge. For Mamma Mia, we were talking about this squad trying to avoid trying to secure spots, of course, for themselves as well. They're quite on the cusp. If they need a win here, they just need a win here if they want to try and overtake Orglis Hungary and Zipline Mafia.
Okay. Well, for Mamma Mia, the angles have to be held. Like, we've got a spot that I know we have to move from, but if you can gatekeep and you can pick up a couple of fights, we can move off from the 19th overall on the day and hopefully move up the leaderboard. But this is where you step back, you let the ultimates fly, and everyone that has to pull up to where Aurora has situated themselves, the battle in the south is going to be disgusting for Novo and Stay Healthy. Alliance is on the outside. DSK has to walk through here as well.
They didn't really get a time or an opportunity to top at the ring pulls over here at Pylon. It's actually going over towards that north side of the zone. Alliance, remember, they're coming from far north, right? The farthest north here to make it down into the Pylon. They secured a spot here on the south side, but it's pulling over towards Aurora and where Havoc Legends were last at in Jurassic here. So this is going to be one of the maddest dashes to the finish line. We have most of our teams inside Pylon proper, about 3 or 4 more teams on the south side as well. It's going to be almost a 10-team pileup coming in from the south side of Pylon.
Another bubble team has fallen. I confirm the Vicious is out, and you know who did it? Ben. I don't know what is going on between Ben and the Vicious, but this is where you run an actual recap of the Storm Point journey where Ben just like absolutely goes for the Vicious every single game.
Ooh, early movement out. As that zone closed, teams knew they had to make the early move. It's going to be ForFun Esports trying to find a spot on the north side of the zone. Where they land, they've got to be cautious because we got Havoc Legends playing the fence line over at Jurassic, but it looks like they will be safe for now. Alliance have made that early move as well, so 3 teams currently playing all 3 positions over there at that fence, making things very difficult for Havoc Legends to walk in from.
Ooh. And I live for fights when you have to leave pylon, because some of those rotations are the most disgusting things you have to occur. And here we go. Up in the north, Alliance have made it up here, and well, good thing we've got some Gibby ults available. Little ult accelerants, just making sure that for endgame, we have what it takes. Havoc Legends and ForFun are also up here in the north. Aurora hold a large majority of the coverage in that next circle, but Pylon is where things are going to get messy, and you can immediately see Mamma Mia on your screen. Let's get in check with them. HM has fallen, but we still have to navigate through Ben. They're holding him in, but this fight's gonna be real tough. Ooh, nice reinforcement.
By the way, with Alliance right behind them, with ForFun right behind them, it's a 17 and 16 point lead respectively. But again, a win, that's plus 12, whatever kills, easily allow Alliance and them ForFun to try and catch up here. DSK will be the next team to fall, kind of expected. They were the last team on that southern side of the zone, walking in with the ring to their back. NOVO Esports get picked apart. And speaking of teams getting picked apart right now, it's been ForFun, Esports, and Alliance just kind of taking turns at using the Ultra Q to peek this side of the wall to deal with Havoc Legends. I believe there's only one player remaining here. With that fight taking place, ForFun decide to go deeper into zone and work their way into the compound here, as Havoc Legends will get chased down by Alliance. And so now Alliance take a slight lead over ForFun Esports with that squad wipe.
And they're gonna have to walk in at some point, but they clear their back so no one can rotate in behind them. For Mamma Mia and Ben, they are two teams that are the farthest away from that next circle. And knowing there's not a real clear path to get there, it's going to take absolutely everything that we have. The L-Star Kraber, we're gonna let it rip around, but we are just falling forward. Black Venom, the last standing team member from Mamma Mia, can't stand the push and falls. Ben, you took down the Vicious. You've been taking down bubble teams all day. Slab, can we reset this before we have to move? There's only 2 seconds.
Oh boy, he's got both of his players here, and luckily no one's chasing after this for the time being. Never mind. Ben gets sent on 3 men. We'll finish them off. Get the res just in time, but they have to walk in. They've got the bubble, they've got the defensive bombardment, they have coverage to play off of, and so they will find the spot. Elite EU just behind them. There's a knock onto Light.
They also take a Kraber, and there goes the electrified bubble. Light is getting rezzed back up on their feet, but now they have to navigate this from behind the rampart wall and the bubble. 3 men are putting on a last-minute stand, and they get just a little bit of cover inside that next circle. For Elite EU, they dive towards the north and try to hold on with their chances towards ForFun.
Bangalore ultimate out. As right now, Alliance have that height, have a massive boulder to play around, and the whole map is basically their playground. There's no one contesting them because ForFun Esports gave up that height very early on. So it's Alliance just kind of controlling the battlefield here. Stay Healthy will ultimately go down here in 6th place. Alliance picking up a number of those kills as well, and they're doing a great job now of just separating themselves from the rest of the pack.
They're already on 6 kills. They won the last match. They're feeling pretty hot coming into match number 6, but Babylon's with a Kraber in hand. 6 more shots to go into the top 5. Bubbling down, and we missed that one. Yes, it is a little windy over here on this side of Storm Point. That's okay, because we still have 4 more bullets. Do it.
3 men inside that storage container right now, and they are completely holed up. Babylon's hitting that port to try and get deeper in. Aurora getting pushed from behind. It looks like Elite, though, will be slowed down early bubbling as they get that res onto Kinda as well.
Oh,
so it's all about positioning here for our squads. And speaking of positioning, once again, Alliance just have the entire map to themselves. Aurora find a knock onto Kinda and finish him off with as he just got back on in. 3 men, unfortunately, just slowly getting walked down here. You can see Alliance on the left looking for an angle on them, and so 3 men are going to commit onto this fight.
Oh, they straight swing onto Elite EU, and it pays off in dividends for them. Elite EU is down and out, and 2 more points go the way of 3 men. Now they can kind of revert back to their original positioning, which is basically needing to push Alliance into Aurora, but Aurora are solidified inside that building.
Got a lot of utility here. Different kinds. Aurora have the Bangalore along with the Catalyst wall, but the other squads, it's Gibraltar's, it's the Dome of Protection, it's the defensive bombardment ready to go out for them. Early cat wall out here for Aurora to stop this push. And that's just in time as Alliance tried to take that height away from them. They'll use that Q to avoid a lot of this damage out from the defensive bombardments, but this full engage might allow ForFun Esports to come in for the third party.
And it's just Aku, and he can't do enough. Alliance fall, 3 men join them, and now it's Aurora emerging from their coverage against ForFun Esports. Yarka is down, so keep tabs on that. But ForFun is staying healthy, but they get lit up by the thermite.
Oh, the bodyguard! Oh my God, the bouncer keeping them out! And it's the 3rd man! It's the Bangalore on the ground that just completely denied them an exit. Aurora will take the final win of the day in the most unexpected way.
Just holding the line, I'm not letting you pass. Like, that is actually hilarious.
Wow, today has been quite the day. Aurora had a very tough start to the beginning of the day and even the middle of the day. Nothing was quite working out for them, but finally they're able to capitalize here in the last game of Stormpoint.
Yeah, see, look, having a Catalyst reinforcing those doors, just keeping the pressure away from them is so nice. And even though 3 men try to move in, they kind of come on out, take space, deny everything. Catalyst, Sparrow, and Bangalore did such good work for that's an interesting legend comp, but to be expected from a team like Aurora to walk away with 21 points and the win in game number 6. Now, a lot of those teams at the top of this game are going to point sponge because you see 11th through 20th place. There's not really a lot going on. ForFun grabs 14, 3 men though. That's the big difference maker because they grabbed 15 points and they were on the bubble. And now, mind you, coming into today, I know I said that I didn't think 3 men was going to make it because it was a curse of 19th place, Jamerson. We'll see how they did.
Yeah, it's a tense situation right now. You know, you've got Orglis and Hungry and Zipline Mafia just waiting and refreshing Liquipedia. F5, we'll see where we stand. Oh, I also forgot we have the delay, so that's gonna happen in about 10 minutes. So
yeah,
we're getting into it. We're getting into all of it right now because, I mean, talk about a way for the teams to close out the series with Alliance and Aurora showing up in 5 and 6. We get to see what that does for our series results now. HM holding on to that top spot at 60 points. ForFun Esports do jump up into 2nd. Alliance there in 3rd. Aurora move up 9 spots though into 5th place, Tiff, after getting that win.
Yeah, that's pretty a good jump up for them to go up 9 slots. Like, you talk about salvage points when you're looking to win Split 1 in general. You are coming in at the top of it. You would like to remain there. So knowing they did that much work is great.
Well, now we get to see what that does for our top 20 here in EMEA, which teams are making their way through to our regional finals. Look at Pixel Lumina.
No, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to, Glitter.
So close.
Mamma Mia in 22nd. Ben, despite full sending the Vicious in 3 maps, we're in 24th. And like, the points are so incredibly close.
Yeah, the very disappointing thing is that, you know, here, particularly for Pixel Lumina in B versus C, on average, they perform better than this, right? This is arguably their worst performance in B versus C. But for all intents and purposes, it looks like they were doing well in this group once again up until this final match, which, you know, they just got stopped short of the finish line.
Dang. And we talked about them too. Looking at 19th and 20th, we talked about OAH and Zipline Mafia kind of being forced to wait in the wings and see what would happen. Would they still qualify for regional finals? They're both at 49, and at the end of it all, they just barely survive. I mean, that's got to feel good for them.
You're not wrong, but I mean, like, Pixel Lumina had 2 top 3s on the day, and 8th place with 4 kills. I mean, their floor was just really low on 2 of their games, so it was just like a roller coaster of emotions throughout our 6 games, and they needed just a few more match day points to make that one happen. But I guess the manifestation candle worked for Orglis and Hungary and Zipline Mafia. I don't know if they have one. I'm just saying that, but that's something I would do.
And honestly, look at HM as well, Jamerson. After the win on the day today, that puts them up there in 9th place, tied at 82 with GG right underneath the cutoff for EWC. That's a great position to be in going into regional finals.
It's 3 teams tied for 82 points
you're right,
as well. So that is, a tense situation, a very, very tense situation at that point of now that we've moved the goalpost, now it's looking extremely tight amongst the middle of the pack, just trying to secure a spot at LAN.
Dang,
that's
what
crazy.
a day.
I'm like looking at it, and with HM doing such crazy work out there, Glitter, it's like we've been talking about the bubble for regional finals this entire time, but when you move the benchmark and you look at EWC, HM now tying that points after the exceptional performance we had today, it's like they just have to do it one more time.
Can they lock in for regional finals? What is going to happen with all of our teams? Because I mean, you saw Aurora still at the top there, VP and ForFun after phenomenal performances with triple digits as well. Alliance right under it at the 99. Regional finals is going to be absolutely insane as we take a look at the kill leaderboard. No one was able to catch up to Prestis at the end of it all, but MG Clutch does end up there in 2nd. And talk about a last minute come up to see both Unlucky and Hackis on here, Jamerson.
Yeah, the crazy part was that Prestis did that in 2 games, I believe. I believe he got the 18 kills in like the first 2 games. And then from there, it was time for everyone to catch up. Somehow, across 4 more, no one else did. So a little surprising, but he started off with, okay, never mind. It wasn't the first 2 games. It took 4 games to finally get there, but 17 kills in the first 2 games definitely started off really strong and then kind of ran on fumes there towards the end.
Whenever we see stuff like this, it's always kind of scary because, I mean, even just one more match with kills and it would have been insane. It just shows what happens when one match is that pop-off match, whether it's for an individual or for a squad. One match can always be the difference between getting first on the day or staying alive outside of the bubble. As long as you can really lock in for one of these things at the end of the day. But not only does he get the kill leader, Tiff, he gets two records on the day. I mean, I'd be proud of that.
I would be proud of that too. Look, that's a dang good day coming at match day 8. My question is, who's next? Who's gonna try to take that one down? Because we've been going back and forth on that damage all day, all series too.
We really have. Well, now it's time for us to do a quick conversation now that the regular season of EMEA is done, because I believe we have Yarka standing by. Yarka, thank you so much for hanging out with us here today. Congrats on the win there at the end. How are you guys feeling?
Thank you. We're feeling good. It was a very tough day, full of individual mistakes, mainly on my part, but we came back. It's what good teams do, We just come back in hard moments.
No, that's 100% it, honestly. And I love that you guys were able to come back and grab that last win. You mentioned it's a hard day, and things have been getting weird on rotation since the introduction of Axel, the removal of Tridents. What are some things that you guys in particular have struggled with that you are looking to correct for regional finals and even LAN?
I think we just played bad. I think overall the team has been doing good in scrims. We have been learning a lot and working together very good. But I just think we had literally a hard day today. It was like those days that was not meant to be, that we just need to accept. We're going to obviously vote review it, but was mainly on individual mistakes. Apart from it, I think we are adapting pretty well to how Axel has been introduced in the game. I think it's pretty chill.
Yeah, speaking of, I mean, Axel has had a pretty massive effect on how the game is played out now, like what do you think has been her most pronounced? Is it like the rotation timings? Is it the fight timings? Like what is like the most difficult thing to kind of change up your gameplay style when she's still available?
I think Axel kind of reminds me of the Maggie against the baby comps, right? Because you have the drone and it's kind of hard. Like it's a fraction of time if a team is inside the bubble. So I think Axel gives you more than Maggie at the moment, at least the way I see it, because you have rotation plus counter to the baby comp, and Maggie just gives you int play, right? I think Axel, you can adapt it both ways. And the strongest part about Axel as well is on the fights. I think he's too strong on fights. You can make a lot of individual plays and still come back to your teammates, because you use one Q to go, you kill a guy, you use another Q to come back, and you already won the fight. So it's pretty strong character.
Now looking towards the future, obviously you guys were first in the region heading into regional finals, and now looking towards the EWC as well. Do you feel like this is a trio that not only can win regional finals, but then win Split 1 playoffs?
I think this team is great. I think if we focus on the right direction, we have the team to win. We have already the experience, we have the skill, and we keep proving it day by day in this Pro League. We are just waiting to prove ourselves on the international stage.
You want another trophy, don't you? Yeah.
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 Yeah, Clarence.
Another jacket, yeah.
I'm not mad about it. Well, congratulations on being first in the region. Excited to see you guys in regional finals. And of course, you know, LAN as well. Great job. Great job. Even on a bad day, like you said, I still think you did great.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to say goodbye for now as we take one more look back at these Pro League standings. I mean, 119 points. And when we compare that to the numbers we saw out of APAC North and South, it was 125 and 123 respectively, Tiff. I mean, we're seeing that these teams that are at the top of each of these regions were quite dominant when they were able to do that.
Yeah, but EMEA is still really close, right?
I
The
know.
119 to 115 to 112. We're going to have a really fun showing in the regional finals. But something to be said is, even though they're at the top, they are keeping tabs on the individual mistakes and kind of correcting those. There's still plenty of time to gear up before June 7th. You've got, you know, a week to make some of those little corrections and timings. And he even took some of the load himself. He's like, you know, I made some mistakes. And I think even having ownership of that is just so mature of it. So
Yeah.
I think they're gonna be fine.
Also, I'll say, like, one thing to note: we didn't talk about scrims too much this show, and for good reason. The scrims this week were not good at all. If we're going to talk about scrims like at all, they were terrible. But I think now that we have so much more on the line, because it is going to be regional finals, because a LAN spot is open, the teams are going to take it a lot more seriously. So I think for those mistakes that Hyarka wants to correct on and fix, they'll actually have a good week of practice leading into regional finals at the end of the day.
You know, and we did see it pop up there right at the end on the lower third of the interview. Aurora did lock in their spot for EWC, but it's not just Aurora. ForFun Esports and VP have also locked for EWC. We'll see that reflected here in these standings now. So we know 3 of our 8 teams going to LAN already. I mean, that is even more stress added, knowing that now there's fewer spots available for these squads, Tiff.
To be fair, Alliance, like, while they're not like officially secured,
oh yeah, they're right there.
They're pretty much considered in, right? Even the Heretics, Mega after their last. These are the teams that I think are going to be the big question marks, because 85 points, then 82, 3 teams on that. Elite EU right there at 80. The big drop off is after 10th place. So these are the teams right here within that 5-point margin that are going to have to give it their all in regional finals. And it's going to come down to, you know how it is, Glitter. We've done this enough. 1 point is likely going to be the difference maker. It'll be like 1 team wipe, just staying alive, 1 more placement point. That's what's going to come down to it.
It always is, and it makes it so stressful but so entertaining at the same time to watch these matches. I mean, everyone is going to really be paying attention to that top 10 area like you were just mentioning. Huge congratulations to Aurora, ForFun Esports MVP, for clinching those spots to EWC. And next week, we'll find out the remaining squads to get into LAN. But that means we're done for the show. So final thoughts of the day, Jamerson. I want to start with you for EMEA at least.
Yeah, I mean, for those three teams, for Aurora, Virtus Pro, and ForFun Esports, right? They earned it. They absolutely earned it at this point. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. If of those three teams that they secure the spot before we even start regional finals. So I think everyone can give them their flowers right now. It's more than well deserved for them. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we still want to see what things look like for regional finals, because it's going to be a small kind of glimpse into match point finals when we get to LAN. And that's where we have the big questions, because match point finals, that's a different beast in and of itself.
It really is. Really is. Tiff, what about you?
I just think HM let it all hang out today and did absolutely the best work they could. Look, they got a top finish in match number 1. They got a top 3 in again, and then a second place. Like, they knew what they had to do if they wanted to qualify for LAN. So seeing all the way that they played, they're able to withstand even losing out on players, regains, rotating in. It was not an easy day. It was very int heavy, and I can only imagine that we're going to see some of the same things happen in North America later, which is going to be oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. If you guys are just showing up now and you missed what we just had go on here in EMEA, or you want to keep up with everything throughout the rest of the year, or even in the Americas, just follow us on social media at Play Apex Esports on X, YouTube, Insta, and TikTok, and then of course at Play Apex on Twitch. That way you won't miss a single second of any of the action, because that means now that we've got our top 20 set for regional finals and 3 teams confirmed for EWC, it's now time for us to do the exact same thing in the Americas. So make sure you tune in at 11 p.m. BST, 6 p.m. ET, 3 p.m. PT, just a couple of hours from now, to find out how our final region plays out and which teams will move on to regional finals. Will we confirm a few for EWC? And of course, don't forget, we also still have a riddle to solve and a special announcement to make, and you won't want to miss it. So until then, hydrate, stretch your legs, and hop into some game of Apex. We will see you back here soon, legends.